people, and then he asks his people to freely give what Jesus was not a socialist. Please don't call him that. Socialism is stealing, right? I mean, it's when a government forcefully takes what belongs to someone to meet the needs of someone else.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thanks for stopping by. Let's get it. We got to keep America, you know what I'm saying, great. You can't have no socialism trash come to America with this bullshit, man. Socialism sucks, and we know it, and they know it. Keep that third world mentality, third world. We don't need it over here in America, period. We don't need that. What's wrong with these people?
That is not what Jesus does. Jesus calls his people to radical generosity. Rich and give to the poor. He doesn't take from those who have a lot and give those things. No, what Jesus does.
Sorry about that, chat.
Belongs to someone to meet the needs of someone else. That is not what Jesus does. Jesus calls his people to radical generosity. He doesn't take from the rich and give to the poor. He doesn't take from those who have a lot and give those things to those who don't have a lot. No, what Jesus does is he puts resources into the hands of people, and then he asks his people to freely give what he has given them to serve those in need.
What's going on, everybody? I appreciate you guys pulling up today. With everything that's going on, with everything that has transpired over the better part of, the past couple of years, obviously we know the DSA has been around, since the 1980s, and the communist movement has been in this country for the better part of, well over 100 years at this point. Paul Harvey, back in 1965, on the radio, he did a speech, and it's called Freedom to Change. And some of you guys have seen it. Some of you guys have not had the opportunity to listen to it. I think it makes complete sense at this point to bring it right back out, dust it off, and get right back into it, because Paul Harvey was 100% spot on here. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it.
Now then, what makes a nation strong? Taxes? There's nothing new about those either. The first income tax was paid by Abraham. It was written on a rock by the hand of divinity and handed to Moses at the top of Mount Sinai. And you might want to remember this. It was at the flat rate of 10%. It promised the wrath of God on anybody who tampered with or violated that law. Christ was born in Bethlehem because Joseph was on his way to pay his taxes. Joseph was a relatively well-to-do landowner of the house and lineage of David. Yet the taxes exacted by Caesar Augustus were so exorbitant that he didn't have enough money left over to employ a trusted messenger for the mission, so though his wife was great with child, he made the journey himself. And Christ was born in Bethlehem because Joseph was on his way to pay his taxes. And Christ was born in a manger because there was a housing shortage when he got there. Our problems are not new. At Runnymede, the Magna Carta was handed to King John on the end of a sword, denying to royalty the right of unlimited taxation. Yet it was for us, the American people, to become the first in recorded history ever voluntarily to surrender our rights to private property. Oh, yes, we did. With an innocent-sounding constitutional amendment, the 16th, which says that Congress shall have the power to lay and collect taxes on incomes from whatever source derived, and we forgot to put any limit on the extent to which we could tax ourselves. Conceivably, we could be taxed out of all private property. We could be taxed not 70%, 80%, 90%, but 100%. We could awaken one morning and find that the government owns the farm and the house and the car and has a mortgage on the church, legally. Historically, whenever any nation has taxed its people more than 25% of their national income, initiative was destroyed and that nation was headed for economic eclipse. Presently, the American people are being taxed 33%.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Chad. Good morning, everybody. Like, share, and subscribe. Good morning.
Now, in some cases, Americans are being taxed upwards of 50 to 55%, depending on where you live in the country.
History says we'll roll forward on momentum for a little while, but we'd better get some more gas in the tank pretty quick. You see, ours is not the first by George good government to arise on the world stage. There have been several. Rome, Spain, and Greece, and China, and each enjoyed about 150 years at its zenith. That's just about our time in the New World. And then each decayed away. Not one of them was ever destroyed by anybody else's marching legions. Each rotted away, morally, socially, culturally, economically, simultaneously. You know, one of the most cruel paradoxes of history is this. Because each was a good government, it bore bountiful fruit. And when it bore bountiful fruit, the people got fat. And when they got fat, they got lazy. And when they got lazy, they began to want to absolve themselves of personal responsibility and turn over to government to do for them things which traditionally they had been doing for themselves. At first, there appears to be nothing wrong asking government to perform some extra service for you, but if you ask government for extra services, government, in order to perform its increasing function, has to get bigger, right? And as government gets bigger, in order to support its increasing size, it has to what? Tax the individual more, so the individual gets littler. And to collect the increased taxes requires more tax collectors, so the government gets bigger. In order to pay the additional tax collectors, it has to tax the individual more, so the government gets bigger, the individual gets littler. And the government gets bigger, and the individual gets littler, until the government is all-powerful. The individual is hardly anything at all. The government is all-powerful. The people are cattle. Now, some believe that the need is for...
There's no way if you don't love America that you should not be a politician. If you don't love America, you shouldn't be voting. Period. These Democrat socialist people are corrupt, they are evil, and to me they fucking slow. Because how is it you have a third world mentality, knowing that it doesn't work in the third world countries, the bullshit policies they have, and you want to bring that shit to America? It makes no fucking sense. Keep that shit over there in the third world, leave America alone. They want to get rid of the Constitution. You serious? Insane. But people vote these people in because they want free shit. They fucking lazy. Get off the SNAP benefits. Get off Section 8. If you're able to work, go work. If you can't, okay, I understand, I get it. But this bullshit going on with this Democrat socialist shit is insane. Democrat Party went too fucking far left. My grandma do not recognize this party. She's 98 years old. This is fucked up. It's not about, you know what I'm saying? It's America's a great place. It's not the best, but it's great because, you know what I'm saying, in certain countries, they cut your electricity off. Because the government gets pissed off, they cut the electricity off. You know what I'm saying? That shit's stupid, man. But let's continue.
For a vigorous, strong man to arise on the scene, to regulate and regiment the affairs of men. Yet history tells us there have been several such. Once upon a time, there was a nation great and powerful and good. She was suffering from the aftermath of war, from a depression. And then came upon the scene a leader, an idealist, self-confident, intolerant of criticism. Wisely, he limited his early activities to combating the financial depression. Nobody could argue with that. But in a while...
It makes no sense. We work hard. You know what I'm saying? We earn that shit. Somebody who's lazy on a fucking couch ain't doing shit. I got to give my shit to them, share what I got going on with them. That's crazy. Get their ass up and make it happen. I'm making it happen. We making it happen. That's insane. Fuck the socialism. Fuck that shit. Fuck the government on that. It's insane. You guys are insane. You guys talking about some MAGA and Daddy Trump. No, we call Trump Uncle Trump. You guys love Daddy Government. Let the government go. Get your own shit.
Began to regulate business and establish new rules to govern commerce and finance. Some of them in diametrical disagreement with the God-made laws of supply and demand, but anybody who disagreed with those new rules was promptly fired. The new leader saw that under the old system of free enterprise, landlords prospered, so he levied new taxes to take away their profits and destroy what he called the monopoly of capital. To please laborers, he controlled prices. To win the favor of the farmers, he gave them loans and subsidies. The national debt mounted alarmingly. Whenever anybody tried to tell him that governments, even as people, can go broke when they spend beyond their incomes, he said they just didn't understand deficit finance. Well, what do you say? Did he build on rock or on sand? I say on sand.
2,239 subscribers.
For you see, this was the story
Subscribe if you haven't already.
Emperor Su Tongpo, who led China to its doom more than 1,000 years ago. I am satisfied with all my heart that if Uncle Sam ever does get whipped, here too, it will have been an inside job. It was internal decay. It was not external attack that destroyed the Roman Empire. Starting about 146 BC, internal conditions in Rome were characterized by a welter of class wars and conflicts, street brawls, corrupt governors, lack of personal integrity and moral responsibility. About 290 years after Christ, a Roman emperor named Diocletian took over. He really grabbed the bull by the horns. He took over in a period of turmoil and severe depression. The first thing Diocletian did was call in the gold and close the banks and raise the taxes. He reduced the power of the Senate, delegated its power to a lot of little government bureaus. Do you know they even had a Transportation Act back there prescribing the fee required to rent one laden ass per mile? And at today's rate of exchange, it would have amounted to about 1/8 cent per mile, which meant that in order to make a profit, a jackass would have to carry 5 passengers. That was simply beyond the capacity of the jackass. Diocletian put millions of people on the public payroll, but when this failed to do the job, the country was still in trouble. He asked more personal powers for himself. For a brief while, incidentally, they were standby powers, but then he used them all at once. He froze wages, he froze prices, he froze jobs, he stopped profits, he dictated to the farmer what he should plant, when and how he should sell it, and for how much, and he rationed food. And what happened? The labor market closed down. Incentive was gone. Farm life became dependent on bureaucratic red tape. Exorbitant taxes cost the farmer his land. He kept for himself only a small plot on which he might grow turnips for his family. He lost the rest of it to the state. And without food and with incentive gone, city life stagnated and declined. And Rome passed into what history has recorded as the Dark Ages, lasting 1,000 years. Just by turning to the left, the world has gone in circles. A nation would evolve from a monarchy into an oligarchy, from oligarchy to dictatorship, from dictatorship to bureaucracy, from bureaucracy to pure democracy, where finally the people would cry out from the chaos and confusion of the streets, "Oh, please, God, give us a king," and God would give them a king, and they'd have a monarchy again and start the whole silly cycle anew. Now, either we will profit from the errors of their ways, or it follows as the night the day, our children are going to have to relive the Dark Ages all over again. How come, after thousands of years of experiment, our new nation has come so far so fast? All this in less than 200 years. What is the secret of our success? Well, I think it had to do with a basic American's creed. Perhaps it never passed the pioneer's lips in this form, but if it had, I think he would have said something like this: I believe in my God, in my country, and in myself. I know that sounds like a trite, too simple thing to say, and yet it's a rare man today who will dare to stand up and say, I believe in my God and my country and in myself, and in that order. When the early American pioneer first turned his eyes toward the west, there were only Indian trails, or traces as they were called, for him to follow through the wilderness. Do you know today you can roller skate from Miami to Seattle? From San Diego to Plymouth Rock? In this little bitty instant, as historical time is measured, our 7% of the Earth's population has come to possess more than half of all the world's good things. How come? Well, sir, when that early pioneer turned his eyes toward the west, he didn't demand that somebody else look after him. He didn't demand free education. He didn't demand a guaranteed rocking chair at eventide. He didn't demand that somebody else take care of him if he got ill or got old. There was an old-fashioned philosophy in those days that a man was supposed to provide for his own and for his own future. He didn't demand a maximum amount of money for a minimum amount of work. Nor did he expect pay for no work at all. Come to think of it, he didn't demand anything. That hard-handed pioneer just looked out there at the rolling plains, stretching away to the tall green mountains, and then lifted his eyes to the blue skies and said, "Thank you, God. Now I can take it from here." Now that That spirit isn't dead in our country. It's dormant. It's been discredited in some circles, driven underground, but it isn't dead. It's just that a few seasons ago, politicians baiting their hooks with free barbecue and trading a Ponzi promise for votes began telling us we don't want opportunity anymore, we want security. We don't want opportunity, they said, we want security.
Wait, if you were locked up at any Illinois juvenile detention center, such as Cook County,
They said we want security. And they said it so often we came to believe them. We wanted security. And they gave us chains, and we were secure. Suddenly, with our constitutional guarantees depleted, with our national character eroding away, with our tax laws penalizing those who dare to prosper, with workers concentrating on how little they can get by with instead of how much they can produce, suddenly we looked overhead one day to discover that the first tin moon in space was a Russian accomplishment. That free men dragging their feet had been outdistanced by slave workers dragging their chains. And we were sore afraid. Perhaps this was a disguised blessing too. Maybe a dramatic accomplishment by this Cold War adversary was necessary to get us off our dead centers and back to work again. If we can revive in ourselves, then in our youth, something of that basic American's creed, the horizon has never ever been so limitless. For man stands now on the threshold of his highest adventure of all, his first faltering footsteps into space. 20 years from today, half of the products you will be using in your everyday living aren't even in the dictionary yet.
Yeah.
We've got it made. If we just keep on keeping on, we've got it made. And if we don't, we will follow those other great nation states of history into the graveyard of ignominious oblivion. History promises only this for certain. We will get exactly what we deserve.
Wow. Shout out to Paul Harvey, man. Rest in peace. He was spot on, man. This is the first time that I've actually listened to this in its totality. But he was, man, 100% spot on. This isn't the first time I've listened to Paul Harvey, but this particular speech here is the first time I've heard it completely. And I got to say, wow, here we are in 2026. This speech, this presentation came out in 1965, before I was born. Heck, a decade and a half before I was born, really. And the things that he is saying, look at what's going on right now. The things that he is saying. People in our country have no idea how good they have it. If you are an American, do you realize that you're 4% of the world's population, yet we own 35 to 36% of the world's personal household wealth? We are the 1%. This is the greatest nation to ever exist. But yet we have people that would like to destroy our country as it is. Now, I'm not saying that we're without flaw. I'm not saying that our country is perfect.
Nobody is perfect, period.
But we are the best nation in the world, and it's not even close. For the life of me, I don't understand what these people are comparing us to. The only thing that I can think that they're comparing us to is perfection. And there's no nation that will ever be perfect, because people who run nations, build nations, are imperfect individuals, species. When you think about what the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, what they want to implement in our country, it's quite scary. It's quite scary that you have people that come from privileged backgrounds, people that are Americans, that are some of the most privileged people in the world, have come together to create an ideology that would destroy what our founding fathers built. We've been around 200.
Yeah, America is great. 250 years of greatness. The problem is we got some of these politicians, that's never worked at a blue-collar job, and they spoil. They don't understand the grind that we go through as citizens. And that's the issue, too. Some of these people need to go through, like a little boot camp, because they get in politicians, they become politicians, and they're the most outrageous ideas and thoughts. That shit ain't cool.
50 years. It's the longest constitution to ever exist, 250 years.
Yep. Lazy and illiterate.
You don't need a speaker. Your phone's real volume is locked.
I'm about to show you a secret that the Android industry.
And to be honest with you, it is as close to a perfect document, although we're not actually living up to said document, but it is close to a perfect document as you can get when it comes to government. And a lot of it has to do with is that the principles, of that document was based off the actual perfect document known as the Holy Scriptures, the Bible. But yet these people, they're antithetical to the word. Their policies are antithetical to the word. They are more in line with themselves. They see themselves as God. They think that they can do things better. They think that their plan is better than the plan that has been given to us by our Father. And that's why I wanted to start this particular video off with a clip from the brother saying that Jesus was not a socialist.
Right.
I wanted to start there. I want to play this clip for you real fast, and then we're going to get ready to get out of here.
So we're going to put up on the screen a few of the things that are part of your platform. And I want to ask you, just give me sort of a true or false on these. Abolish the Senate. True. Okay. Replace the presidency and Supreme Court as we now know them. Yep. Abolish ICE. Absolutely. Abolish borders and give amnesty to anyone currently in the U.S. illegally. As a long-term plan, yep. Defund the Pentagon. Absolutely. Abolish prisons, at least in large part.
Like, share, and subscribe, everybody.
Yeah, again, as part of a long-term program,
crazy.
yeah. Okay, so no prisons. Government or public ownership of most large corporations. Yeah, absolutely.
You see that? These people want you to own nothing and be happy, and they want the government to run every aspect of your life. These people are lunatics, man. We got to do everything that we can to fight tooth and nail against people like this. We got to. People like this person, and there's a plethora of them out there.
Right.
And they come from all walks. This isn't a race thing. These are Hispanics. These are, blacks. These are whites. These people are some of the most dangerous people in the country. And to be honest with you, it may not be close because they're picking up steam. This is the rhetoric that's being pushed in a plethora of colleges all around the daggone country. This is the rhetoric. I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. What are your thoughts? Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family or...
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Let's continue. Subscribe. Let's subscribe. All right, look at that, 240.
My 401ks from old jobs were scattered, probably like yours if you've ever changed jobs. But
I'm MAGA for a reason, because I believe in America first. Yes, Trump has pushed it out with the name Make America Great, but after Trump leaves, I'm still be MAGA because I believe in America first policies, I believe in the Constitution. And these people with this DSA, Democrat Socialist BS, we cannot let them come in our elections, in our government. They're not good for America. Some of these people not even born in America. They're in our elections. They're not, they are politicians. They do not love America. They don't respect America. They still got this third world mentality. It's not needed in America. Here, it's not needed. Like, share, and subscribe. Name is Deunta. Watch the video in entirety. Good message.
Now you can start talking about the Antichrist. Now you start talking about false peace and a false religion and great deception. Now is the time to start looking at these things. Years ago, when I was talking about this, I had a lot of people, and mainly Christians, who were in my comments and in my DMs telling me that I was worshiping Donald Trump, that I shouldn't be voting for Donald Trump, and that MAGA was wrong for putting their faith in this president. But what they didn't understand is that MAGA was the only group who had the faith and strength and boldness to stand for God, even when the rest of the world was against us. We lost family, we lost friends, we lost jobs, we lost wives.
Hey, Ron, welcome to the chat. I'm not taking my hat off, Ron. Welcome to the chat.
They don't call me no more. I don't see from nothing like that. It's like, what the hell happened?
Take my hat
like,
off.
damn, yeah, I'm right wing. I don't be a Democrat no more. see the bullshit. I live the bullshit. I heard the bullshit. Democrat Party got the same party that my grandma, you know what I'm saying, is with. She's 98 years old. She's the one that told me to go boo no matter who, my aunties, whatever. But you know what I'm saying, I'm 43 years old. I'm grown. I know what to do. I know right and wrong. I know what common sense is. I know what a man and woman is. You know what I'm saying? Well, let me continue. Let them cook.
Husbands, we lost opportunities. We got threatened constantly, consistently, talked about by the president, talked about by the politicians, talked about by the news stations, and everybody around us. And that's why we're able to be in this fight today, because God called the people who would listen to him, and we went out there and we fought on his behalf. How can MAGA be evil if we're fighting for children to stop being confused about their gender? How can MAGA be evil if we're fighting for people to stop aborting babies? How can MAGA be evil if we're asking for our borders to be closed so that people who don't love America can't get over here? How can MAGA be evil when we're the only ones calling out the corruption in the government and calling out the corruption in our media? How can MAGA be evil when we're the ones asking for more God to be brought to America? So fast forward to today. Because God has used Trump and MAGA to fight endlessly in this war, the other side is now confused and desperate. And they have become so desperate that they are looking for a savior, somebody to save them from
Lord is Jesus. That's all you got to do.
And these Christian nationalist supporters, which is why they have turned to the DSA, communist jihadists who do not serve God but have an army against him. So ask yourself, where will the false peace come from? Where will the false religion come from? And why have they gotten so mad? It's because of MAGA. It's because God is using Trump. And God is
in control.
MAGA. Stay tuned. God bless.
Yep, God bless. Thanks for stopping by. I just want to share that with you guys. You know, it's serious. The Muslim and Islam, I want to put them, they on bullshit. They don't care about us. They don't care about themselves. They're nasty. They want to marry little girls. Insane. Again, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for stopping by.
Hi, excuse me, miss. Hello. What if I told you I could get you some money right now?
I wouldn't believe you.
Okay, let's get out your phone, download the app.
You know, we could have just left the shit.
You know, that's probably what you're going to do anyway. You're not going to take all this shit.
Actually,
Actually, you're not. Look how fucked up my house is.
Do what the fuck you want,
Look how fucked up my house is.
trying all night to get all our shit out of here.
Look at this shit. It's all her. Anybody know who she is? Look at this shit. The bathtub is full of them. Look at this.
Charles.
Look at this shit.
Look
Look at this shit.
Yeah,
Holes in the wall.
It's the roots,
Holes
all
in
the
the
roots
wall.
from your trees.
So if anybody wants any of this stuff, it's 417 South Central. You can come get it today.
You know what? You're a piece of shit. You know that?
Come get it today.
You're a fucking piece of shit.
Come get it
You know
today.
what? Let him have this shit.
Yeah.
He's a fucking piece of
Because
shit.
you're not taking it because you're supposed to be out yesterday.
You know what? You're a piece of shit. You really are. I thought maybe you were a good man.
Look at all this. Look at all this shit.
I thought you were
Free.
a good man, but you're not.
Anybody want some free shit?
Don't you dare touch any of this shit
You want some free stuff?
You cannot do that by law.
You want some free stuff? It's all free. All this free. Because they ain't gonna take none of this shit. They're gonna leave it here. Everybody gonna leave it here.
You know, you're supposed to be a Christian.
You got a bike. Dude, I'm here right now and I will beat somebody's ass. Get in my face. Get in my fucking face.
Nobody's trying to fight you.
Yeah, because you're a dumbass. Look at all this shit.
I go to the same
Look at all this
place you
shit.
do, man.
I don't care what you do.
You know what?
I don't care what you do.
Call me names.
Look at all this shit.
Yeah, I know. We're trying to get it out of here.
Yeah, well, you're supposed to yesterday by 3 o'clock.
That shit's yours.
3 o'clock
For
yesterday.
you, man.
Look at this shit. Look at this shit.
Look at this shit.
Just filth.
Wow.
Just nasty.
Dude, I've been here all night with no fucking sleep.
Just
That
nasty.
looks like shit.
I did an eviction. She was supposed to be out yesterday at 3 o'clock. I told her to leave. And they're both still here.
Trying to get our stuff.
Jeez Louise. The way he said filth made me laugh. He's filth. Like the way he said it made it sound like he was disgusted.
Why not, dude?
He said filth in a disgusted way. Yeah, that's crazy. That is absolutely wild. Wild. It sounded like he's the landlord, he's a property owner, and rented it out to those individuals.
Everybody,
and they've trashed the place.
61 people
absolutely trashed it.
Thank
and people wonder why,
subscribe.
Landlords want to charge higher prices. It's because of stuff like that. People destroy stuff, man. They absolutely destroy stuff. But anyway, let's keep it rolling. Left is losing it.
What's up, TikTok? So now, this asking you for an ID to buy a super lotto, since now they want to become a cops now. This is.
Oh, they're asking you for an ID. Oh, darn it. Oh, my goodness. These folks, man. These folks. They want to see my ID now. Okay, don't show them your ID. You ain't going to get what you want. You're not going to get it. Next clip.
I seriously want to give up on applying for disability solely because they make it so hard. They make you have to prove this and this and this and this, and they make you do the work to get all your medical records, and they make you do all the work to prove everything, and they make you do all the work to apply with all their paperwork that they've made hundreds of papers that you have to go through. I mean, tons of paperwork that you have to go through, hoops and hoops and hoops you have to jump through, and lawyers you have to talk to, and all of this crap. And it's like, I'm disabled. I can't even work a normal job. How am I supposed to do this stupid process when they make it so hard? And I'm already so disabled that I can't even work a normal job. So how am I supposed to do this? How am I?
Something tells me that she's not really disabled at all. She doesn't look disabled, which granted, being disabled isn't necessarily a look, you know what I mean? But I'd be willing to bet she's not actually disabled. Like, genuinely disabled. She might feel she's disabled because of whatever, but I don't think she's actually disabled. And I think it's good that they make you jump through a bunch of hoops to ensure that people who just want to claim that they're disabled aren't put on disabilities. That's supposed to be reserved for people who are genuinely disabled.
Right.
You know, not just a bunch of leftists who want to claim that they're disabled because I can't deal with society. Like, no, that's not a disability.
But all this time to get themselves pierced, like nose, lip pierced, earrings.
Anyway,
am I supposed to do the work that goes into this when it's nearly the same amount of work as getting a job? Like, applying for disability is the same process as applying for a job, basically. Except that they get to deny me for any reason they see fit. Well, employers do that too, so honestly, it doesn't really matter what I do. I can't get a job because I'm disabled and everyone denies me, and I can't get disability because they deny me, and it's so much work that I don't want to do it anymore. I don't want to do it anymore. It is so exhausting. And that's the point.
Hearing her
they
talk
make
is
it this
exhausting.
hard so that we give up, so that they just don't have to help us. And that's the whole point. That is the whole point. And I'm exhausted. I am so exhausted.
You got time to
the whole point is
hair.
to ensure that you are genuinely disabled, not just Cocoa for Cuckoo Puffs leftist who wants to claim that they're disabled. You know? So I don't see anything wrong with it personally, but maybe I'm wrong. Y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts, right? Let's keep rolling. Oh no, we ain't playing the music. When Elon Musk is a trillionaire and I can barely even buy a coffee in this economy. Here we go with that again. You would have thought people would have gotten the message by now, but Elon Musk is not a trillionaire. He does not have $1 trillion.
Hey, the guy in the chat keep on saying, when they say, boy, the cult is out of control. Again, you don't see MAGA going out protesting stupid shit and wearing fucking frog suits and T-Rex air balloon suits. How you want to call them damn air suits? Stop it. Black guy, nah, I'm going to keep on mentioning about them damn frog suits, man, because they dedicated wearing them fucking suits. It's like, damn, I get, you know what I'm saying? Every day's not Halloween, but to them it is. They love going out to the protests. Well, stupid as shit. Trump is not a king. We voted for him. But they can go out there with their air suits on, blowing horns and whistles. Shit crazy as hell. We are not a cult. We are common sense people, man. MAGA did that. Man, fuck January 6th. Get out your feelings, man. Was you at January 6th? No, you was not. January 6th. That shit stupid as hell. And those people went to jail. They got pardoned, but they did serve some time. But Trump did not tell them to go there and cause chaos. That shit was controlled. We had federal agents in there involved as well. Nancy Pelosi was in charge. She told them no cops, no nothing. So we gotta blame Nancy Pelosi for that shit. And if you watch the videos, hours of videos, you'll see some of the guards let the gate open, let the people in. You like the people just rushed in and just broke windows and all this shit. Some people got let in. They got let in, period. But you guys don't want to watch all the footage. You want to see a 10-second video or your favorite influencers saying January 6th was bogus. Instead of saying that the officers let people in. They let them in.
It's crazy that I even have to explain this.
Yes, they was let in. Watch the video, man.
His net worth, his $1 trillion valuation is tied to the businesses that he owns. So unless he sells those businesses, he does not have $1 trillion. Even then, he still may not be a trillionaire, even if he sold everything, because of someone. See, the way that I see it, right, and this is common sense to me. Whatever you have is only worth what someone else is willing to pay for it, right? You could have something that you deem extremely valuable, right? But if nobody else deems it valuable, then is it really valuable? You know? Or here's a better way to put it. You could say that your house is worth $10 million. My house is worth $10 million. But if nobody's willing to pay you $10 million, is it really worth $10 million? I would say no. I would say no. Nobody's willing to pay you that. The bank isn't even willing to give you that. So is it really worth $10 million? No. I would say no. It's only worth what someone is willing to pay for it. That's it. You know what I mean? That's just the way that I see it. But y'all get in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on that one. If you think I'm tripping or not. All right? Let's keep it rolling.
I was just called a leftist and that I deserve to be raped. What the is wrong with y'all? I
highly doubt that was somebody on the right that would say that. That sounds like something a leftist would say, right? That's their party. That's her own party saying that nonsense to her. That ain't one of us. We don't say that silly stuff, but just my personal opinion, I guess. Just my personal opinion, you know. I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
You know, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping.
I've been getting a lot of transphobic comments lately. And Banshee, get off the table. Thing is, y'all can't always tell. Because I am, in fact, a dude. I am a man in makeup. You don't know the difference between a trans woman and that being said, trans women are real women. They do nothing to hurt you. It hurts you in no way to see a trans woman, and you deserve to get your teeth kicked in.
There's the violence once again. There's the violence. It's hilarious to think that he thinks that we don't know that he's.
Hey, Chad, I'm going to show a video of footage showing the police escorting January 6 people into the building. I'm going to show it after this.
He's a guy. But, hey, to each his own, I guess. To each his own. Do your thing, brother. Do your thing, I guess. Anyway. Let's move on to the next clip, I guess.
So this guy, he just ran past us, past my dogs. And then after he passed us, he went into a casual walk. Now, please, people, teach your children and teach yourself. You do not run past the dog. I learned this from my parents when I was this big, 3 years old. But this adult runs past my dogs.
What's up, Chris?
And then slows down to go and walk. Why would he not slow down, walk past my dogs, and then start running again? Please teach your children and learn to respect nature and other species. Come on, bye.
Oh man, you just can't make this stuff up, really. You just can't make this stuff up. You gotta complain about something.
Right.
You have to complain about something.
Subscribe.
So it's his responsibility to make sure that your dogs don't react. I'm confused. Why don't you train your dogs to not react to somebody casually jogging by them? Like, why is that his responsibility to make sure that your dogs act appropriately? That's just strange. I've never even heard of that anyway. Like, this is wild. Absolutely wild. But that's lefties losing it for you, I guess. If you guys enjoy video clips like these, I have an entire playlist of them, all right? It's called Lefties Losing It, and I don't know, I'm 20-something, clips in, videos in. So, got an entire playlist for you that you can sit and binge watch. Also, I have a second channel for those of you that may not know.
The QAnon shaman who became the face of January 6th. And what I mean by the face of January 6th, the mainstream media chose this guy who was dressed up. I mean, he's a performance artist. He was dressed in this ridiculous outfit with horns and fur. And I think he was shirtless, but he looks absurd, right? They used this guy to stereotype every Trump supporter as being some kind of violent, crazed lunatic that breached the Capitol. When in reality, what do the videotapes at the Capitol show? It shows no such thing when it comes to the QAnon shaman, whose name, by the way, whose real name is Jacob Chansley. He sits in prison right now for what? This is what he did at the Capitol. Take a look.
Dangerous conspiracy theorist dressed in outlandish costume who led the violent insurrection to overthrow American democracy. For these crimes, Chansley was sentenced.
You said the media is owned by Trump. Get the fuck out of here. Trump got banned by how many social medias? Are you serious, man? Where you living at? You bogus as hell. It's supposed to be Trump owned by the media. Get the fuck out of here.
To nearly 4 years in prison, far more time than many violent criminals now receive. What did Jacob Chansley do to receive this punishment? To this day, there is dispute over how Chansley got into the Capitol building. But according to our review of the internal surveillance video, it is very clear what happened once he got inside. Virtually every moment of his time inside the Capitol was caught on tape. The tapes show that Capitol Police never stopped Jacob Chansley. They helped him. They acted as his tour guides. Here's video of Chansley in the Senate chamber. Capitol Police officers take him to multiple entrances and even try to open locked doors for him. We counted at least 9 officers who were within touching distance of unarmed Jacob Chansley. Not one of them even tried to slow him down. Chansley understood that Capitol Police were his allies. Video shows him giving thanks for them in a prayer on the floor of the Senate. Watch.
Thank you, Heavenly Father, for giving the inspiration needed to these police officers to allow us into the building.
So right now, as we're watching this video footage for the first time, it wasn't released. Nancy Pelosi refused to release it when she was Speaker of the House because the Speaker of the House controls the Capitol Police. So at the time, Speaker Pelosi controlled the Capitol Police, controlled these videos. She refused to release them to the American people. The January 6th committee was allowed access to them. That we'll talk about in just a moment. But here's my question. As we watch this video footage right now, Jacob Chansley sits in prison. He's incarcerated. He's facing a 4-year prison sentence for breaching the United States Capitol. There's no proof that
he breached the United States Capitol. We'll see in other video footage, and Tucker Carlson aired video footage that showed from the inside police officers opening the door. So if the barrier around the Capitol that was supposed to secure a perimeter where people weren't allowed to cross that line, if that barrier had been removed and there was no barrier, how were people supposed to know that they weren't allowed there? How are they culpable if they are unaware that they're not allowed in a certain area? And if the door is opened by a police officer,
like, share, and subscribe, everybody. Thanks for coming to the channel.
that seems like a welcome. That seems like a permissible entry. That's not breaching the
67
Capitol.
people in the chat.
So here's my question. Jacob Chansley is sitting in prison after being convicted and now is serving a 4-year prison sentence. Was he allowed to use this video at his trial? This video is what's called exculpatory evidence. It disproves the prosecution's case against Jacob Chansley. He wasn't allowed to use this. Was he allowed to use this? If so, why have we not seen this before? Why have we not heard about this before? How was this man convicted if he wasn't allowed to use this? And if he wasn't allowed to use this, was this not a violation of his fundamental constitutional rights?
$50 short this week. Apply for Atlas. If you don't get approved, they give you $50 just for trying.
So we're going to put up on the screen a few of the things that are part of your platform, and I want to ask you, just give me sort of a true or false on these. Abolish the Senate. True. Okay. Replace the presidency and Supreme Court as we now know them. Yep. Abolish ICE. Absolutely. Abolish borders and give amnesty to anyone currently in the U.S. illegally. As a long-term plan, yep. Defund the Pentagon. Absolutely. Abolish prisons, at least in large part. Yeah, again, that as part of a long-term program, yeah.
What? Trump owned the media. Do you know anything, CBS? So Trump controls The View, which is The View which is dissing Trump all the time. I don't understand what you're talking about.
Okay, so no prisons. Government or public ownership of most large corporations. Yeah, absolutely. So abolish ICE. Would there be any enforcement of immigration laws, or with abolishing the border, we're not enforcing immigration laws, they go away?
Yeah, so again, this is part of this longer term plan, and part of it.
But if you can get there,
like, share, and subscribe, everybody.
Yeah, I mean, if we can get to the place where the U.S. is not destabilizing countries in order to mine them for resources, there will be significantly less migration.
What do you say to those, though, that would potentially destabilize the U.S.? Because there's only so much the economy can bear, and when you have a flood of people coming in, it might not work out economically. According to a lot of analyses, if you just open up the borders and there's no enforcement at all.
Well, we're not saying open the borders tomorrow. We're saying rebuild an economy and a society that works for everyone. And the open borders is part of a longer-term international plan that involves us stopping destabilizing countries. Most people who are coming to this country are coming as economic refugees, and we destabilized their country. We did that.
Well, a lot of, if you look at data, the Center for Immigration Studies says right now the households here in the U.S. that are headed up by people who are here illegally, nearly 61% of them are on some type of government or welfare program here in the U.S. Can we afford to do that? I mean, at some point you run out of resources.
Well, right now we make it very difficult for people to participate in society in such a way that they can avoid using services. So we want people to be able to work and live and go to school and actually participate, which means contributing to society and also getting what they need from society. It's a collective choice we can all make.
So if we
Boy. So we got to continue our coverage of the struggling Democrats
as you guys just saw and as we covered yesterday,
My channel is
Democrat
lame. Go to
leadership
another
is struggling,
channel then. Why
right?
you
Not
still
just
here then? Why
when
you
it comes
still
to
subscribe?
individuals
My
like
channel is
Hakeem
lame. Why
Jeffries,
you
the
still
political
watching
leadership,
this
which is what we're going to
Insane.
talk about here today, but also when it comes to the financial leadership. Ken Martin, right? DNC going broke. Democrats can't raise any money.
In the meantime, there's been such a mess at the DNC, and Isaac, you've reported about this.
Well, are you guys, you know what I'm saying, these liberals and Democrats, are you guys watching the video, watching the message? Besides just criticizing, are you even watching it? Because I'm not just showing Fox News. You see the guys I'm showing, they be showing different news outlets, and they give you different perspectives. You guys want to keep on bashing Trump, keep us calling us the code. What the fuck? Are you listening to the message? Are you out, need to wake up? That the DSA is bullshit. They trying to destroy America, and you guys letting it happen? Fucking insane.
Extensively. There was also this new report from the New York Times that came out just this morning about the phone-throwing drama at the troubled, broke Democratic Party, talking about Ken Martin, the chairman of the DNC. This one passage says that Mr. Martin's fraying nerves are showing. In a peak of frustration in early July, he threw his phone at the desk of a junior aide while upbraiding the person. The phone-tossing incident resulted in a formal complaint to the DNC's Human Resources Department. But this is a committee that's had tons of problems. I mean, not the least of which is cash, not having the money that they have had in past cycles.
And at a time when you would think, looking at the political climate, that the DNC and Democrats writ large would be raking it in. I mean,
right, they pissed off if you watching conservative news. You know what I'm saying? We're not fucking victims. You guys are victims. That's the problem. They want us to hear and play videos of people bashing America, victimhood, complaining, and bitching. But this not that channel. This is a common sense channel. You know what I'm saying? We alphas over here. No beta channels. So go to a beta channel with that bullshit. I'm going to rock my MAGA hat as long as I want to rock my MAGA hat. This is my channel. And this is my chat. You know what I'm saying? And the people in this chat, they cool. They loyal. If you guys are not part of that, then get off the chat. Go to somebody else's chat and troll. If you want to stay, stay. Let's have a good conversation. You know what I'm saying? We're adults. Let's be adults. Let's get it. Like, share, and subscribe. It's not that hard. It's free. You guys like socialism and communism, go ahead and hit the like button. Go ahead and subscribe. It's not that hard. At least that is free. Let's continue.
they've got their message written for them almost, as a contrast to President Trump. And yet you go out and talk to voters, you talk to others, the narrative is rough on both sides. People are upset with the economy that President Trump is presiding over, but people don't see the Democrats as having a big alternative, and that's bad for them.
But that's the sub-theme to what's going on with the calendar here, because there is the possibility that a state could choose to not follow the DNC here and hold their primary when they want to.
Like New Hampshire wants
to do it. And people saying, hey, the DNC is broke. They can't do anything to help us anyway. Nobody is scared in any way of Ken Martin as the chair. And so maybe they'll just go and violate it. It is not where the infrastructure of the party needs to be for going into 2026 and then 2028.
Very quickly, can Ken Martin survive as chairman?
He only gets it. He can only be kicked out or he can only leave if he resigns. He cannot be kicked out. And so it's up to him.
You want to know how you personally can help protect the integrity of our elections? Americans are right to be concerned about the integrity of our electoral process.
He can only be kicked out or he can only leave if he resigns. He cannot be kicked out, and so it's up to him.
Yeah, we'll see.
But again, I think part of the reason why is because Democrats are strongly disliked. Okay, they have no identity outside of hating Trump, and I just don't think that hating Trump is going to cut it for Democrats.
You liberals and Democrats in the chat, what are the Democrat policies? What they running with? Who's the Democratic Party leader? You can't say Zoran Mandami. He wasn't born in America, so he can't become a president. The man was born in Uganda, so that's over with. So who you got? Come on, you guys.
Okay, this is why the socialists are currently taking over, right? They have a lot of momentum within the Democrat Party. In fact, Bernie Sanders, who, I mean, honestly, is the leader of the Democrat Party at this point when it comes to the actual...
And then your party want men's and women's sports and bathrooms. Your people are nasty. You talking about some, what you say, what you say, your people want men's and women's bathroom and sports. That shit stupid as hell. How the hell Leah Thompson go from fucking 500 to number 1 when he goes to women's sports, but men's sports he 500? Not cool.
Soul of the party, right? The far left of the party, which again is slowly but surely taking over. He was confronted on the Democrat Civil War and the success that the socialists have had in these primary elections that, in my opinion, I think they're not going to have that much success in the general elections because their policies are not as popular as they want you to believe. Take a look.
There is, as you know, though, concern within Democratic circles that these inter-party primary fights are draining resources and sort of, pulling away from what should be a unified message. Rahm Emanuel wrote in the Wall Street Journal, the Bernie bros could spoil Democrats' midterms. He said,
remember, it went from tax to millionaires. Now it's these politicians, now they millionaires. Now it's tax to billionaires. Insane. The more they get more money and power, now they go reverse on somebody else who got more money and power. Keep themselves. Insane, man.
the DSA and others are saddling the party with nominees who, as he put it, wildly unpopular positions will protect Republicans from having to pay the price of Donald Trump's corruption. He said it was the socialists who led the charge to defund the police, open borders, abolish prisons. He's saying those are losing messages that are going to hurt the party overall. How do you respond?
That is what Rahm Emanuel is saying, who no doubt has the support of millions of working class people. Look, this is an argument. There's no debate. There is a strong division within the Democratic Party. You have an establishment like Rahm Emanuel, who are dependent on billionaire campaign contributors who want to maintain the status quo. Then you have a progressive movement, which, by the way, what is getting these guys nervous is we are winning all over this country. Suddenly, Mamdani in New York City, it's in New Jersey, it's in Ohio, it's in Colorado. People are sick and tired of the Rahm Emanuels and the Democratic establishment and the Republican establishment. They are asking simple questions, Margaret. Why in God's name are we the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all people as a human right? Pretty simple question. Canada does it. Europe does it. Somehow we can't do it. Why do we have an economy in which one man, Mr. Musk, owns more wealth than the bottom half of American society?
Yeah.
Why do the economists tell us that in the richest country in the history of the world, our kids will likely have a lower standard of living than their parents? The American people are tired of a rigged economy, a corrupt campaign, finance system. They want real change. They don't want Rahm Emanuel and the establishment maintaining the status quo.
But in the meantime, I hear you on the message that you think is resonating on the
If you say MAGA's a code, then I'm with it then. Because MAGA, we're not no fucking victims. You guys are victims. Y'all want to stay in the past. Slavery, back in the day. Who gives a fuck about back in the day? It's about now. In the future. You guys are stuck in the past. Never lived none of that shit happened in the past. Never experienced Jim Crow. Never got sprayed with a fucking water hose or attacked by a goddamn dog. None of that shit. Never been told that you can't drink at this water fountain. Whites only, blacks only. None of that shit we never experienced. So what's the problem, man? Stop letting this media send us off and be divided. MAGA's not a code. We just love America, period. I've been overseas many a times. I have a passport. You gotta renew it. But I've been overseas. Yeah, it's nice on vacation. Nice beaches, clear waters and all that. But the government is not how American government is. At some point, they're going to cut the water. They're going to cut the water off. The water is bad. They're going to cut the electricity off at a certain time of night. There's a lot of bullshit with that. But you guys don't want to think about that. Get a passport and go overseas. See how America really, how the world is compared to America. I guarantee you guys will be like, man, America is great. I apologize. But since you guys stuck in this bubble, don't want to get out the bubble, you know what I'm saying? You don't understand what you're talking about.
the tactical planning here. Do you think in the state of Michigan that you were just talking about with Abdul El-Sayed, he's a public health official, he's a populist, but he's running against a moderate Haley Stevens. Do you really think that in a state like Michigan, it's going to be a progressive Democrat who could beat a Republican in November? This was a state Trump narrowly won.
Absolutely. Whether it's Michigan, Minnesota, Vermont, or any place else in this country.
Yeah, we're going to see about that, right? We're going to see about that because apparently establishment Democrats don't believe that. Individuals like Hakeem Jeffries, allegedly behind closed doors, confronted Bernie Sanders on this socialist takeover. Said, hey, man, you guys are ruining our chances of winning the general election. Now, I personally think that it is true that the socialists are ruining the chances for Democrats. But I think more so than anything is the feckless leadership, the lack of vision, and the Trump derangement of the current Democrat leadership like Hakeem Jeffries that, again, he's allowing socialists to take over the party, right? Because of, again, his feckless leadership. I think that also is the reason why Democrats could lose the midterms, okay? And Dana Bash here is going to confront Hakeem Jeffries on his beef with Bernie Sanders. And also on top of that, she is going to confront Hakeem Jeffries on Trump being right about illegals voting in our...
How you make... He said it's fun to make MAGA look stupid. No, you want it stupid because you in the MAGA's chat and you think what you're saying is relevant. It's not. Ultra MAGA on this chat, baby. And you also welcome. Everybody's welcome to the chat.
Our election. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this.
29, both units Kroger on Dixie, 3073 Dixie Highway.
Voting in our election. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this.
Here with me now is the House Democratic Leader, Congressman Hakeem Jeffries. Mr. Leader, thank you so much for being here. I know that you are launching what Democrats are calling 100 Days Out Weekend of Action with more than 400 grassroots events in competitive states, including Pennsylvania, where you're going to be speaking later today. At the same time, your party is fighting over whether the path back to the majority runs through the center or the activist left, who want to defund the police, abolish ICE, end aid to Israel, open borders. I know that you call the Democratic Party a mosaic, but are you going to push any of those positions if you win the majority back?
Well, what unites the party, and certainly what will take place over the next 100 days beginning today, is a focus on us fighting for an affordable America, based on the reality that life in this country is far...
Brooklyn Barack, Team Obama, best friends with Jeffrey Epstein, asking for money for his campaign. Brooklyn Barack, that was his name from Epstein. Brooklyn Barack.
Too expensive, and everybody agrees that that's the dynamic that the country confronts. Too many people are working hard, they're playing by the rules, but they can't.
Already. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate it. The name is Deunta. 77 people in the chat. Let's get to 2,500 subscribers. Why not?
Thrive, and they can barely survive. Not enough food on the table, not enough gas in the tank, unable to...
Okay, if Trump said promising no new wars, okay, at the time, we get it. But you guys already know since Bush, Obama, Clinton, Biden, they've been talking about getting rid of Iran, bombing Iran. Iran cannot have no weapons, period. You guys know that this has been decades, 47 years. Each president been saying that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Iran is bogus. And you guys know that. Y'all was cheering for it. Y'all was with it. The same thing with ICE. When Tom Homan was doing this thing with the ICE, you guys was all with it. ABC, CNN, everybody was cool with the ICE program that Tom Homan was doing under under Obama. Under Obama, they did ride-alongs. They had no issues with ICE. Nobody was out there protesting against ICE. Soon Trump becomes president. Now they mad at ICE. ICE is bad. ICE ain't the right thing to do. Obama deported 3 million people up out of here. 3 million. And guess what happened? People also died as Americans as well. But you want to hear about that? You hear about people died under Trump. But yes, more people died under Obama when it came to these ICE raids. Just Google it. Soon Trump do something is bad, but Obama do it is cool. Biden does it is cool. You guys are insane.
Actually regularly and consistently afford to pay the rent or pay the mortgage. We want to drive down the cost of groceries, drive down and lower the cost of gasoline, drive down the cost of housing, and also make sure that health care is affordable for every single American.
Right, but to do those things, which is the messaging that I've heard.
At some point, we all going to say the same thing, repeat the same phrase here and there. It was going to happen, period. At least with this one, it's more factual. It's not feelings.
You say, especially recently, you need to come up with policy proposals. So will those policy proposals be in line with what some of the more progressive members who keep getting elected are pushing, or will you sort of move more towards the moderate area where if you do win the majority, it will be likely because they pick up swing districts?
Well, we want to make sure that we are solving problems on behalf of the American people, and that's in every possible area. It is clear that what unites Democrats, for instance, we forcefully have been pushing back against the one big ugly bill and the effort to enact the largest cut to Medicaid in American history. That's a disgrace, and clearly that needs to be reversed. We need to make sure that we do things like extending the Affordable Care Act tax credits so that more than 20 million people actually can have health care that they can afford restored to them, as opposed to the situation that they confront right now because of MAGA extremist policies, which is that they've experienced dramatic increases in their health insurance premiums, in some cases more than $1,000 per month. It certainly is the case, as we've already demonstrated unanimously on the House floor, that we need to stop this reckless and costly war of choice that has skyrocketed gas prices on everyday Americans, and we need to stop the Trump tariffs, which have increased costs on everyday Americans by thousands of dollars per year.
You know what I find to be so funny about this, right? This is exactly why Democrats aren't going anywhere. Right? This is exactly why their approval rating is so low. She asked this man basically twice, hey, these are all the policy proposals from the socialists. Do you agree with this? Right? Is this something that you're going to be pushing in Congress? Right? The dude doesn't answer the question.
Nope.
He gets asked the question a second time in a roundabout way, and he defaults to, well, we just want to stop Trump, right? And it's like, okay, you want to reverse all the stuff that Trump did. Okay, let's give you that. Let's say you do that. Where does that take us to? That takes us back to where we were before Trump got in office, right? Think about this, right? He's of all the Medicaid cuts and
how you doing,
the Obamacare tax rate. Well,
yeah, the channel is growing.
So-called
appreciate everybody. Thank
Obamacare, so-called affordable health care, right? The Affordable Health Care Act did not make health care affordable. Before the tax credits expired, healthcare was not affordable. So putting them back in place is not going to all of a sudden make healthcare affordable.
Hey, guess what? That situation happened in the 70s. They got it debunked already. So I already know about Trump's situation. Do your research.
This guy has no specifics outside of, well, we just want to stop Trump. We just want to stop Trump. But he keeps telling us all of these generalities about how they're going to make life more affordable and they're going to do this, they're going to do that. But when it comes to specific policies, aka, do you agree with the socialists? Again, it's Trump derangement. He spends his time talking about Trump rather than talk about, okay, do you agree with this stuff that the socialists are saying? Right? It's pathetic. It really is. This guy doesn't stand for anything except against Trump. And I think that's part of the reason why they're struggling. This dude has the charisma of a cardboard box. What does this dude believe in outside of just being against Trump? Because you can tell us all day that we're focused on making your life more affordable, blah, 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 blah. Okay, great. Why was the country unaffordable for 4 years under Biden? In fact, the country became unaffordable under Biden, right? Because before Biden, the country was affordable. The country became unaffordable under Biden. That's what happened. Under Democrats. Under all the things that your party did. But you're telling us that you got the solution to make life more affordable? Where's the affordable liberal cities? Right? Where they at? His city, New York, is certainly not affordable. Right? The city that you represent, the neighborhood that you represent, not affordable. But you keep telling us that you're going to make life more affordable for everybody. It's crazy. It really is. This guy, he's so terrible. He's so bad. I think Democrats would upgrade just by replacing this guy with anybody, right? Anybody would be better than Hakeem Jeffries at this point. He's probably good at fundraising, aka sucking off donors, and that's about as good as Hakeem Jeffries is when you talk about leadership. I mean, that's a very important part of leadership, and AOC can do that, right? She can raise money, right? So if raising money is the only thing that Hakeem Jeffries can do, then he might as well let AOC become the leader. Let's be honest.
This woman in Kansas City searched her name and found $6.1 million in unclaimed money. What?
Wait, you don't know about...
See, become the leader. Let's be honest.
You, according to my colleague Manu Raju, have clashed with Senator Bernie Sanders over the fact that he is campaigning for progressive candidates, some of whom are challenging incumbents you back, including members of the Congressional Black Caucus. Are Senator Sanders and other progressives in the party making it harder for you to win in November? Is that what you said to Senator Sanders?
No, I wouldn't describe it as a clash. It was a candid conversation along with Congressman Greg Meeks, the chair of the Congressional Black Caucus PAC, with respect to one particular race in North Carolina at the beginning of the primary cycle and trying to get a sense of his approach to that race. I do think that Senator Sanders and Democrats in both the House and the Senate understand the stakes that are in front of us, particularly as we are 100 days out. And that's making sure that we actually take back control of the Congress so we can end this MAGA extremism that has been unleashed on the American people that is actively hurting hardworking American taxpayers and actually commit to making life more affordable for the American people. That's clearly what the American people want to see done. And that's not what Republicans have been able to accomplish during their time in office since Trump was sworn in back in January of last year.
Well, again, when Democrats were in office for 4 years, they didn't do that, right? Again, they're the ones that made the country so unaffordable in the first place. I mean, that's just a statistical fact, right? They can say whatever they want about Trump right now, right? But we don't have 9% inflation, right? We don't have that. We did have that under Biden. So I don't know what this dude is talking about, to be honest with you. He loves criticizing Trump, but he has not presented any solutions. He can't tell you what he agrees with, what he doesn't agree with, outside of being against Trump. He can't tell you anything else that will make us believe that he actually has some solutions to, quote unquote, make our lives more affordable. Amazing.
I think one of the things that some of those who are winning their primaries and will likely be in office want to know is if you are going to agree to hold votes on abolishing ICE, opening borders, things of that nature. Will you?
Well, I've spoken to several of the incoming members of Congress across the ideological spectrum. Not a single person has raised those issues, other than obviously what they've seen from House Democrats in pushing back against an out-of-control...
Here we go, Trump. Specific question is, are you going to hold votes on the radical policy proposals from the leftists that are going to be coming into Congress, right? If you take back the House as leader...
Right. Like, share, subscribe, everybody. 100 people in the chat. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Let's get to 2,500 subscribers. Why not? Name is Deunta. Everybody is welcome. Ultra MAGA, baby.
Are you going to vote on these radical proposals? Instead of answering the question is, well, see, Trump this, Trump that. Again, this stick is played out, bro. It doesn't work, right? Like, how is it that as the leader of the Democrat Party, you can clearly see that you're not well liked, that congressional Democrats are not well liked, and yet you continue to double and triple down on the same Trump derangement and nothing else? You can't answer one question, whether or not you're going to bring this to the floor to vote, right? It's a very simple question. Is this something that you're going to vote on or not?
Subscribe.
Well, see,
Thank
what
you,
we're going to
guys.
focus on is stopping Trump.
48.
Okay, well, what are you going to focus on actually, doing for the American people outside of stopping Trump? Well, he doesn't have a real answer for that. But again, vote for Democrats to make your life more affordable, even though they can't tell you how they're going to do it.
ICE, because we believe that immigration enforcement in this country clearly should be fair, just, and humane, and that's not what's taken place. That's the reason why House Democrats have taken a strong position as it relates to not giving a dime to Donald Trump's violent mass deportation machine until, of course, there is dramatic reform in this country and that ICE agents actually start to conduct themselves like every other cop, police officer, and law enforcement agent in the country.
Your next door neighbor, New Jersey, just disclosed that 6,600 non-citizens were mistakenly registered to vote there from 2023 to 2024. 400 of them actually voted in elections since then. It is a small number compared to the 7 million voters in New Jersey, and there's no evidence that that swayed any election. But this is one of the most significant disclosures of non-citizen registration. Now, Democrats have repeatedly said that non-citizen voting doesn't happen. It happened. Is this a problem?
It'll help me if I don't have all my tax documents together. I'm missing a lot of things. The short answer is 100%.
Problem?
I think that I continue to have confidence in state and local authorities in making sure that there's going to be a free and fair election in November. And if modest or minor challenges emerge, such as the one that was disclosed voluntarily by the authorities in New Jersey, that it is immediately corrected. And that's what I expect will continue to happen. Unfortunately, what we've seen from Donald Trump is that in this particular case, Republicans have adopted voter suppression as an electoral strategy because they have failed to actually deliver on making life more affordable for the American people. It was Donald Trump who promised to lower costs on day one. But we know that costs haven't gone down in this country. Costs have gone up. It was Donald Trump, I believe, who said that he was elected not to start wars, endless wars in the Middle East, but to stop them, and then turned around and has gotten us involved.
Again, the question was about illegals voting in our elections. That's what the question was about. The question was not about Trump. It's about, well, it was kind of about Trump. It's about Trump being right, right? Trump was right. Trump was right. What do you think? Right? Instead of addressing the substance, again, it's a deflection to, a bunch of stuff that the question doesn't have anything to do with. And again, this is what I'm talking about. This is why the Democrats, the establishment, they're so disliked.
Yep.
This guy doesn't stand for anything except being against Trump.
That's all.
You're talking about over 400 illegals voting in our election, and this guy deflects to talking about Trump, even though Trump was right on this issue. Trump was right on this issue.
Trump was right.
Now, if a group of people can be convinced that the party which fought to keep them in chains is their own protector, then the chains never left. They just got better marketing. And it's not a theory. That's the scoreboard we're about to look at.
All right, so these Democrats were shocked when they found out that it was actually the Democrat Party that didn't want blacks to vote.
Do you know what Juneteenth is?
It was the day that we actually celebrated getting freedom for African Americans.
A president sent the army in to enforce the 13th Amendment to make sure that all, like you said, people know that they're free. But they had to send the army to make sure that they know what's going on into Texas. What was the president's name and what political party was he part of?
I'm going to say Abraham Lincoln.
Yep. And was he Republican, Democrat?
I feel like he was Democrat, but I want to say maybe he was Republican. No, I'm going to go with Democrat.
The historic 13th Amendment was passed in Congress, and then it was vetoed by a certain president. Do you know what was the president's name and what party he was affiliated with?
Republican.
A year after Juneteenth, Congress decided to pass the very first Civil Rights Act. It allowed, first of all, it gave full citizenship and rights to freed slaves. What party completely voted against it? Not a single person voted for it. Which party were they affiliated with? Republican, Democrat, other? Anybody know?
I want to say Republican.
Abraham Lincoln was a Republican president.
It's not a switch, man. Just listen to
he's the one that sent the army because Southern Democrats in Texas wanted to continue to have slavery. So Abraham Lincoln said, no, we have a federal law now. We're going to enforce that.
Black people were voting Republican for about over 100 years. And then changed after Lincoln got shot, got assassinated. Reparation, 40 acres and a mule was right there. Abraham Lincoln got assassinated. Democrat Andrew Johnson, he stopped it. Democrat Party went against everything the Republican had for us as Americans. Went against it. And I'm not lying to myself. Do your own research. Stop saying I'm lying, and I can back it all up. I get hours of videos. I can play this thing all day to you guys. I have no issues with that. I live stream about 3 hours when I do live stream. So if you just sit back and just watch the video and stop chatting, you will understand what's going on. The party never switched. People just voted different. Democrat Party is still the Democrat Party of the bullshit.
His vice president that stepped in and vetoed the Civil Rights Act was a Democrat. His name was Andrew Jackson. Yeah. And here's the main thing. When they allowed black people to finally run for office a year after Juneteenth, the first 20 people who were black people to be members of Congress were all Republican members. The Democrats refused to allow black people to vote and to be, obviously, candidates for office.
So you can watch that clip right there and really see these minds being blown. And when you finally just realize the facts behind all of the propaganda and all of the stuff, you realize how much of...
Right, Joe Biden did a eulogy at Robert Byrd funeral. Robert Byrd was a Kleagle. You know what I'm saying? He's a Klansman. All of them guys was bogus, man.
True American history is just being hidden from people. God knows they're not teaching it in the schools. They'd rather teach BLM and 500 genders and drag queens, like, teach kids shapes or something like that. They're certainly not being taught history. And then you understand why they don't want to teach this history, because Democrats want to run the propaganda that Republicans are racist when, in fact, they're the ones with the history of racism.
To do is save hundreds when Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance.
That's great, but can you ask your friend to...
Like, share, and subscribe, everybody.
When, in fact, they're the ones with the history of racism.
You just watched grown adults guess the party of slavery and get it wrong in real time. Now, if you would have asked me this maybe 3 or 4 years ago, I would have been on the same wave. Not one of them hesitated. That's a gap in education for sure. That's a successful product. Somebody spent decades making sure the receipt stayed buried while the brand got rebranded. And the people most affected by that history are the ones least likely to be taught it. And if you ask me, that's not random. That's literally design. And once the past is blurry, the present gets real creative.
Kamala Harris brought these people out. They paid these women to come out and speak. Did you feel disrespected?
Absolutely.
You felt disrespected?
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead.
I felt disrespected in the numerous ways, but I'll only tell you two. I felt disrespected that we have come so far, so now this is how you are trying to get our vote.
Yes.
I feel also the second reason why I feel disrespected is because this, to me, is racist. You mean to tell me, at least people of our skin color, black people, you mean to tell me the only thing that to get our attention or to get us someone to vote for y'all is by using the rappers and stuff that we listen to, and they're not even, like, don't get me wrong, Meg is good, right. Glow is good, they all have talent, however, they have a certain genre that they go for, right. And that's not necessarily a good image on young kids or young women that's coming up. So you mean to tell me, like, you used them as a way to get our attention, and that's the only people you can use. There are other great artists out there who rap about, like, making it and just kind of making it big and, like, flourishing and healing and all of that. We could have had those type of people come up, but you went and chose someone who has kind of degraded us in a way.
Yeah.
Like, so subscribe to the channel, everybody. Thank you for stopping by.
They're easy to manipulate. These stripper rappers up here.
Yep.
And they'll come out and vote if I get the stripper rappers to come out.
Yeah.
Do you?
So a black woman just said out loud what a lot of people usually only whisper. Paying Megan and Glorilla to show up and It's just really not outreach. It's a focus group result. Somebody in the room decided the fastest way to reach us, to reach black, well, not us, I guess I'll say black women specifically, as it relates to this woman, decided the fastest way to reach black women was through the same energy that sells body shots and viral dances. She called it disrespectful. She even called it racist. And then, and the people who usually lecture everybody else about respectability suddenly had nothing to say. It's real funny how the rules change when the check clears, right? Mm-hmm. So, history is foggy and the current strategy is pure spectacle. Now ask the next question.
I really don't understand black men that support the Democratic Party. Like, I understand women, because they all right with gay, with gay people, with gay dudes, they have their gay best friend, that they love. I understand black women, but I don't understand straight, masculine men. Like, they literally, I just posted a video on my Instagram of Democrat Tim Walz. Literally, they have transgender dolls that they're now using in schools. Transgender dolls to indoctrinate your kids in the schools. I don't understand a black man how they can support that, especially if they got sons. I don't understand. I don't care. There's enough racism in the world for me to support a party that would tell my son should be a girl at 4, and they giving these dolls out in like 4th grade, like in kindergarten. Transgender dolls in Minnesota, the Democrats are. I don't understand straight black men that support the Democratic Party. I just don't understand it. Like, this party has become so feminized and so emasculating to men. That's why they keep running women candidates. They have become, women run the whole party, white liberal women. I don't understand black men. I just don't understand how you can be so dumb, how you can be so brainwashed, how you can allow these people to emasculate you so much that I know your mom told you, your grandma, that the Democrat was your best friend, but I don't understand you black men to do. I just don't. Maybe 20 years ago I could understand voting Democrat. Even under Obama I could tell. He liked basketball, he liked sports. But this new Kamala party, this new AOC party, I don't understand it. I don't understand what benefit it has to you. They're replacing you with illegal immigrants. They're taking all the jobs for black men. I just don't understand it. I really don't. I'll never understand it. I don't, but we're the coons. We're the crazy ones.
Insane.
We're the crazy ones. We don't want biological men in our daughters' sports. I have 3 daughters. I don't want biological men in my daughter. That is a big issue for me. It's not for you. You want biological men with private parts going into your daughter's bathrooms? That's insane to me.
For an easier way to get that LLC next to your business name, say hello to Taylor Brands. Just go to their
rooms. That's insane to me.
No, he's not yelling at the clouds. He's asking why the same group keeps handing the same party the same loyalty after the same results. Straight black men in 2026 still carrying water for a machine that talks about them more than it delivers to them or for them. That's not loyalty. That's the habit with a voter registration card. And habits only break when the cost of them, the cost keeping them finally gets higher than the comfort of staying the same. Now, part of that cost is the story people are trained to tell about themselves.
When you're black, you're never really lonely because there will always be a white person all up in your business.
I am fully convinced the people who make these videos, really, they leave their phone out, they record, and they just wait. No one's bothering them. No one's walking by. It could be like 1, 2, 5 minutes before someone actually looks at them and pays attention to them, and then they hop on this. I'm convinced anyone using this audio, that's what they're doing. Because if you look at it, no one is paying attention to them really. They're just looking to see like, oh, hey, this person's recording. Why are they recording? And then they go on about their business. They might glance over again like, hey, is this person still recording? Because it is kind of creepy in a public setting. But no one's really paying them any mind. Again, it's black folks stirring up their own oppression, stirring up their own perceived racism, stirring up their own anger, stirring up their own controversy, but no one is falling for it. As a matter of fact, this is where all the fatigue sets in. This is where people start getting really tired. This is when real anti-black behavior starts happening, because now it's just, okay, you want to provoke me, you want to pick a fight, I'm gonna fight you. That's where it comes from. And people like me are getting sick of it. People like other people, like other races, white folks, everybody else are getting sick of it, because it's the constant self-victimization, and it's the constant I'm so oppressed. Look at me, look at everybody who's oppressing me. Look at everybody, look what's wrong with the rest of the world that's doing this to me. And then when they actually do it, you get mad. You manifested this. You wanted this to happen. You're getting your wish. Wonderful, right? Wonderful. Zeke Arkham, got your 6. Bye.
Quote, when you're black, you're never really lonely. You know, the original claim was about outside attention. The reaction cut through the poetry. You know, there's always somebody nearby ready to turn any inconvenience into evidence that the world is against them. That posture is exhausting for everybody in the room, I'm just saying, including the people stuck living inside it. Victimhood is the one job that never runs out of hours. And when the posture becomes identity.
Right, doggone Biden gonna go ahead and trade in Brittany Griner for what they do. What was his name? Talking about war. Yeah, Joe Biden traded Brittany Griner for whatever that dude was. But yeah, I can't think of the name, but it'll come to me later.
Even basic history becomes optional.
Shit. I know you probably wondering why I'm smiling. I'm smiling.
Thank you, Bella, for the super chat, brother. Thank you for the zero. Thank you. Appreciate
these motherfucking
that. Thank
people
you.
want to be, regardless of what they want.
Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it, you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Let's continue. Thank you, Bella.
Try to call me this and that. Hey, at least we got culture. At least we got our own culture. Like, literally, like, undeniable what is our culture. Like, fucking the racist white people still claiming fucking Europe and fucking cultures that ain't had nothing to do with their dumbasses for the last 200 to 300 years. Like, hey, that's just funny as fuck. I thought it's like you can tell it's really getting to them. Like, it's really like destroying a lot of their mentalities, like having no self-identification, no culture to really fall behind. Mm-hmm. And like the only culture they do got is like child molestation and incest.
White people have no culture, he says. That's not history's take. That's a dare. The same civilization, that produced the technology, the medicine, the legal systems, and the music formats most of the world runs on somehow has no culture. It's the kind of statement that only survives this.
You're definitely right. We all need prayer. You're definitely right on that one. Yes, God is in control.
Basis where facts are treated like personal attacks. Reality doesn't need a PR team. It just keeps existing whether the narrative likes it or not.
You guys are
this one is short and sharp on purpose.
Are you a liberal male?
I am liberal.
And are you a beta male?
Sure.
Really? And you know that a liberal male means that you're a weak man, right?
I'm stronger than you, but...
You think and act like a woman. You think you act like a man?
Yeah.
Well, why are you weak?
I'm not weak.
You're just like your mother.
That's good. My mother's a great person.
You just like her?
Yeah.
Beta!
Good.
Women are not going to like you being like that. And so you say you're a liberal, which means you're beta male. And what is a beta male?
To me?
Uh-huh.
To me, beta male is a term made up by people who like toxic masculinity to
and what is
try to protect. It's a version of masculinity where you define the male identity in something that's aggressive and harmful to other people.
But what's wrong with being aggressive as a man?
Well, it's harmful to other people.
Alpha males don't use aggression because they're real men and they don't need to use that. It's natural for them to be that way. A beta male have to use aggression. So you say
what is an alpha male to you?
A real man, not a liberal, not a beta.
Not a Democrat.
He didn't dance around this opinion, man. He looked at a grown man in the face and asked if being a liberal male meant being a beta male. The answer that came back was the whole philosophy trying to redefine strength as anything except strength. Excuse me. Now, when a coach starts treating assertiveness like a character flaw, it shouldn't be surprised when fewer men feel like leading anything. You know, strength isn't toxic. Weakness with a microphone is. Now, here's what all these clips have in common if you stop watching with your feelings and start watching with your eyes. You know, a group of people can be taught to distrust the very history that explains their present. You know, they can be sold entertainment as political engagement. They can be trained to see every discomfort as opposition or oppression and every opposing fact as violence. And then the same voices that created that environment will turn around and ask why the outcomes never improve.
So the news say,
that's not a mystery if you ask me. That seems to be a business model. The people who benefit from the confusion have no incentive to clear it up at all. Clarity is bad for the product, so the product stays the same. The marketing gets flashy and the results, they just stay disappearing.
It's amazing.
Now, you don't fix that by getting louder. You fix it by getting harder to fool. Memory is powerful. The people who keep theirs, they seem to be making better decisions than the people who out.
Right. Subscribe. We are growing, you guys. 2,249. Thank you. We are growing. Let's check out California.
You've applied to 29 jobs and have only heard back from one. It's your resume. Resume.co builds you a resume that...
They identified approximately 278,000 non-citizens who are registered to vote in federal elections. Since Democrat states refuse to share their voter files, the real number is actually much higher than that.
And frighteningly, that's not the only election-related issue facing America right now, because it's also been revealed China stole voter information from millions, while communist governments are hacking their election machines remotely as we do nothing to secure ours. And with these revelations coming at a time when socialism is rising across America, there have never been more questions about the future of our country.
Did they come down here and try and pay you to vote?
Yes.
On a ballot?
Yes.
How much they pay you?
$5.
So they just really just tell you to vote for Karen, huh?
They give you an optional choice, but they tell you who they want to. Put together, these disclosures reveal an election system so broken and so vulnerable that no one can possibly defend it.
This was a legitimate 25th Amendment moment. The ramblings of a mad king.
Donald Trump's speech was full of outright lies, dangerous disinformation, and yet again his attempts to undermine and subvert our democracy.
The DSA co-chair suggested that part of the platform may be abolishing the Senate. What are your views there?
I mean, again, I'm not running for...
Congress must pass the Save America Act. The only reason you wouldn't do it is you want to cheat because your policies are so bad and your candidates are so pathetic that you can't get away or can't get elected any other way.
This is wild. So California alone has almost 200,000 people who aren't supposed to be registered to vote at all. And what nobody's talking about is this number right here, this 190,000. It's almost as big as the 278,000 number of confirmed non-citizens on voter rolls, which were willingly handed over to the federal government. We don't even have California's information or New York. The real number could be big. And shockingly, 30 states thus far have refused to hand over this info, which means there could potentially be millions registered to vote, which isn't supposed to be happening. But when you have DMVs across the country cranking out millions of licenses every single day and offering automatic voter registration at the exact same time, errors can happen. Not to mention, you've also got hordes of activists out there registering everyone under the sun to vote, irrespective of eligibility, and even paying some people. On top of that, the voting machines we use, the president says they've got vulnerabilities. He says they can be manipulated remotely, and he says that Venezuela did this to keep Maduro and his regime in power after he lost. And when you square all of that with the fact that hundreds of millions had their voter information stolen by foreign governments, the pieces are in place for somebody to do something that they're not supposed to do with respect to the overall outcome of a U.S. election. Something every country on earth has a stake in, because the United States is the world's lone superpower, and the politics of our president affect the entire world. And if those policies change, you have certain bad actors out there who could really stand to benefit. Which brings us to the real reason there's now this push to have security in U.S. elections. Only Americans should be deciding what happens in America. That's common sense. No foreign country, no foreign citizen. Our country is supposed to be run by its own people and nobody else. But here's where things get even wilder. You see, the states that don't want to turn over their voter information to the federal government just so happen to be places where certain socialist candidates seem to be incredibly popular and are winning elections. Now, there's definitely an element of America that has been lied to and brainwashed into voting for communism, yes. But if America truly wants to replace its economic system, which has made us the greatest country on earth and allows us to export our resources and feed the rest of the world with the very communism keeping places like Cuba in literal darkness, that better be a fair election. And although we don't have any proof that the things in the president's speech happened during a recent election, we do know who's very upset about this. Watch.
Well, the only thing missing tonight in Donald Trump's speech was tinfoil. This was a legitimate 25th
chaos. If Trump was guilty of anything,
moment.
You know what
The
I'm saying?
ramblings of a mad
been in
king.
jail a
Don't get me
long time
wrong.
ago.
Foreign interference in our elections, that's a real thing.
Why would you release the files out of his second term after he had won already? You should have been down, released the files. This shit's stupid. Fuck them files. Pray for the victims.
Nothing about what you watched tonight, though, was real. It's make-believe. He wants to
But you guys, these liberals and Democrats and Karens keep on talking about the damn Epstein files, but these bastards cool with the borders being open. That's insane, because the borders, you know what I'm saying, what happened? We had Americans, you know what I'm saying, that got unalived and raped. Period. And you guys know this, but you guys doing about the wrong shit. That's fucked up. These people come across the border was bogus. And it was mostly men. And they came over here and did the most dangerous thing. They hurt our women, our children. But you guys talking about the damn Epstein files. Insane.
The election in 2026.
So here we have the governor of the largest sanctuary state in America attacking the president as if he's some sort of lunatic for caring about people showing ID when they go to do something important. But he's not alone. Watch this.
Donald Trump's speech was full of outright lies, dangerous disinformation, and yet again his attempts to undermine and subvert our democracy. Now he knows his only hope is to undermine the validity and trust in our elections.
But this whole socialist movement that's taking over their party, isn't that what they're doing? Check this out.
DSA co-chair suggested that part of the platform may be abolishing the Senate. What are your views there?
I mean, again, I'm not running for any larger office presently. That is, of course, a constitutional question, and I think that's a constitutional question.
If you're a candidate of a party who has a platform to abolish certain parts of the U.S. government, that's a little scary, don't you think? And look at what else these people support.
So abolishing the Senate is one on the list of these socialist remake of America ideas. This is the DSA's platform. So this is what they want. Replacing the presidency and the Supreme Court, defunding the Department of War.
This is a political party that hates our country, hates the way it operates, says they don't trust it, but in reality wants to replace it with something totally different. That's bizarre, don't you think? And here's where the issue of voter identification starts to come up. You see, right here we've got a map of some of the states where Kamala Harris achieved victory. And some of these, not all, are states that do not require any form of identification, which doesn't prove that cheating happened, but it is a strange coincidence. And if you want to undermine trust in an electoral system, and if you want to do that, the best way is to have 50 different states with 50 different sets of rules, creating an election free-for-all, because now people who vote in one state and had to show ID question the results of people who voted in another state who didn't have to show ID, and vice versa. The people voting in a no ID state think that the results somewhere else reflect disenfranchisement because somebody had to show ID, which they have to do when they drive a car or go to the bank or go to Costco. I don't really believe that argument. But the reason this is such a problem is because America's about to vote on something very important. We're about to choose between capitalism and socialism. And as you're about to see, this could have grave consequences for our entire country.
I don't support the filibuster. I don't support elements of this institution that we know, were founded on Jim Crow.
Oh boy, so as Ted Cruz points out here, the things she's referring to, these Jim Crow laws, they came after the U.S. Senate, not before it. So if you're going to abolish something that predates the problem you're complaining about, which is also a thing of the past in this country and has been done away with, America could be in for some big changes, especially if the people running the government don't understand how it works and think it's part of a failed economic system, which is why the issue of a free and fair, transparent election that everybody trusts is such a big deal. America's about to make the biggest choice it's ever made, and if half the country doesn't agree with that choice, well, you're going to have a problem. And there's no way we'll be able to find unity around whatever the outcome is. People have unity around the results of the World Cup. Why? Because there's a referee, and everybody knows the rules, and everybody's playing by the same rules, and everybody watched what happened, which makes you wonder why you don't have elections working that way.
Congress must pass the Save America Act. How easy is that to do unless you want to cheat? The only reason you wouldn't do it is you want to cheat because your policies are so bad and your candidates are so pathetic that you can't get away or can't get elected any other way.
That's an indictment of a system that does not involve you using your ID to prove who you are. And I will give you my personal experience. Having voted in New York City in multiple elections, which is a no ID jurisdiction, when you go in and you cast your vote, you only have to do a signature. And I asked the poll workers, I said, what happens if someone doesn't sign correctly and the signatures don't match? Because you're signing something here, right? And on the other screen, the person watching, they can see what you're signing and they can check it, but you can't see what the signature looks like. So I said, what happens if somebody doesn't sign in a way that matches? And the poll worker said, we just asked them to do it again. And I said, all right, well, what if they get it wrong a second time? And he said, some people have to do it multiple times. Now, I get it. That doesn't prove there's cheating. Sometimes your signature doesn't look the same on a screen as it does when you use a pen or when you signed at the DMV 10 years ago. I get that, but
I don't want to have to scratch it out. And don't let your signature look like the other signature.
Thanks for the likes. Thank you, Black Guy. Now, thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
The idea that nobody plays games with a system that has holes in it is not a real idea. You have to assume that everything that can go wrong will go wrong, and that if there's an exploitation or a loophole out there, somebody at some point will go after it, and it's up to you to stop that before it happens. And here's why that is.
Starting during the 2020 election cycle, the People's Republic of China carried out what is believed to be the largest compromise of election data in history, resulting in China's illicit acquisition of 220 million U.S. voter files. That information includes names, addresses, phone numbers, political party preferences, and other sensitive data that would be needed to register to vote and engage in other nefarious activities, which is exactly what was happening. This data loss presents an unprecedented election security nightmare.
Right, and it's not the only thing that Trump brought up in his speech, but does this mean that China definitely hacked the U.S. election? No, it doesn't. We don't know that for a fact. That evidence hasn't been released, but the opportunity for foul play here is huge. And the thing you got to realize here is that America has certain objectives. The Trump administration has certain objectives. There are certain things that are happening right now on a geopolitical stage that negatively affect certain countries. And if those countries, if they have the ability to affect how our country operates in some manner, and they try and succeed succeed, now their country benefits. You see, there's a direct reward for foreign actors to go after loopholes and try to exploit a U.S. election system. Do we have proof that they did that? No, we don't. But why would you want proof that they did that? By then, it might be too late for the entire country. You got to stop this stuff before it happens, which is what the SAVE Act's all about. Watch.
Wait, if you were locked up at any Illinois juvenile detention center, such as Cook County, the audience.
You got to stop this stuff before it happens, which is what the SAVE Act's all about. Watch this.
So you don't want to abolish the Senate, the United States Senate, because that's what Article 1 is.
The United States Senate is an undemocratic institution. It gives more representation to people in smaller states.
Yeah, that's called a republic.
Than to the 30
That's why you
million
have the
people
balance.
in
So you've
California.
got the House of Representatives, which is population driven, and then you've got the Senate. So every state, if you're a small state, you still get 2 senators, even though you only get maybe 1 congressman, in order to make all of the states have fair representation. So you say, I'm just confused.
When you ask normal Americans if Congress and the Senate and our political system is working for them, most people are very unhappy with the political system.
Okay, that's a straw man right there. Normal Americans. Who are those normal Americans? How many of them are there? I know normal Americans who think it is working for them. So this is all an attempt to try and say that our system doesn't work and that it's fraudulent and that it shouldn't be around. And let's just pull up the other stuff on the screen right here. Look at this. Eliminate the Senate. Congress chooses the executive and judiciaries. That means Congress will elect the president. They want amnesty for everybody, 0 deportations ever, no more Department of Defense, which is what the Department of War used to be called. They want wealth taxes. They want no cash bail, so criminals out on the streets everywhere, and then they want environmental lockdowns with a new Green Deal. I mean, this is a nightmare for America. And if the American people are going to vote for something like this, we better be able to watch, we better know what's going on, we better know that that was a free and fair election, because these are some big changes. And they're changes the leading candidates on the left side of the political field will not disown. Watch.
I mean, again, I'm not running for any larger office presently. That is, of course, a constitutional question, and I think that's a constitutional question.
You support the Senate, right, though?
Pardon?
You support the institution of the Senate itself, right?
I mean,
as part of the Constitution?
We've all got our complaints. I don't support the filibuster. I don't support elements of this institution that we know, were founded on
Yeah, and then she says it. Oh, well, that's just a wild idea. And it doesn't really matter what I believe or support, because I'm not actually running for anything at the moment. But we've all got our complaints, right? Yeah, we've all got, a thing or two here or there that, I should get rid of that and bring this. I mean, they want to change our government. They want to change it in a way that gives them perpetual power and allows them to just redo the systems that have brought prosperity to our shores from coast to coast for a very long time. And here's why this is such a problem. Look at the election results from the New York City mayoral race. Zoran Mamdani got 50.8% of the vote. Now, I understand that New York is 100% in the tank for Mayor Mamdani at this point, but this election was close. Future elections will not be that close because there's people leaving New York as Mamdani remains mayor and goes about trying to punish people and punish businesses and shut them down and go after landlords and bring about wealth taxes. But the first election was very close. And if we have something like this take place on a national stage, if we elect a candidate like AOC or Gavin Newsom, who have totally embraced socialism because that's what's going to give them power, that election's going to be very close. And people are going to have questions, and those questions need to be answered by a transparent process that doesn't have any funny business going on in it. You see, that's something that the American people deserve. I hope to God and I pray that we don't vote for something like this, and that those of you watching realize that we're going to turn into Cuba or Venezuela or every other communist country out there that has never succeeded, because 100% of the time they all fail. I pray for that. But guess what? These communist countries, these regimes, they're already playing games with their voting machines, even when they lose. Check this out.
Many people have questioned whether it could actually be possible to electronically manipulate vote totals or change election results on these terrible machines. Today we are releasing documents that show the CIA obtained reporting of a specific plot to do a big number in favor of the corrupt Maduro regime in Venezuela. And that's exactly what happened, conspiring to digitally rig their own country's elections in 2020, and that's what they did. This reporting included precise details about methods to regime develop to digitally alter vote totals in ways that could not be detected.
So Maduro, there are allegations that he lost his election that saw him become president again, and then they went in there and rigged the whole thing, and Trump says that's exactly what happened in Venezuela. Now, we're not Venezuela, but if our voting machines have vulnerabilities and these things can be negatively affected by an external force of some kind, that's the kind of thing you need to stop before it's too late, because after the votes are counted and the person's in there and they got total control of the government, even if you find out 6 or 7 years later that things went wrong and that people were playing games, will there even be the power to do anything about it? I mean, this is how regimes throughout history have set themselves up. In 1930s Germany, a certain regime set itself up and did so in a way that was totally against the law, but there wasn't any willpower to stand against it. People just allowed it to happen. But what do the American people think about voter ID? Do they think we've got a government that doesn't work for us, or do they just want to know?
That's my wife in the truck here in DuPage County, Illinois. 14 million views as of this morning.
The American people think about voter ID? Do they think we've got a government that doesn't work for us, or do they just want to know how that government's working for us?
Go look here, favorite photo ID to vote. 85% of white people favor it, 82% of Latino, 76% of Black Americans favor it. So the bottom line is this: voter ID is not controversial in this country. A photo ID to vote is not controversial in this country. It is not controversial by party, and it is not controversial by race. The vast majority of Americans agree with Nicki Minaj that, in fact, you should have a photo ID to be able to vote.
If you want to get in your car and drive to a place where you're going to vote, how can you arrive at that location and not have ID? You needed ID to get in the car. That right there destroys that argument. But what about this idea that people are disenfranchised when they need ID? Well, they don't have a car, they don't have an ID, so they took the bus to get out there and vote. Well, perhaps, but how do they have a bank account? How do they have anything in 2026 America with zero identification, especially when there's nobody who can't get an ID? Even in a place like New York City, you can just go there and you tell them what your name is and they will give you an ID. It might not be a driver's license, but it'll be an ID. It'll have your picture. It'll have a number that will allow you to access other city services and to do things that you need an ID for. So every place will give you some sort of ID, even if it's not a TSA approved ID. And then the other thing is, when people talk about disenfranchisement, what does that mean? That means that people are trying to vote and they're getting turned away at polling places because they don't have an ID. Like, that's not happening. I haven't seen any news reports of that going on. And if you look at Costco, for example, like Costco, what do? You need your ID to get into the place to buy anything. And then you need your ID again to put your groceries on the conveyor belt. So they check your ID twice before you've even left the store, and then before you even get out, they check it a third time. Is Costco losing customers because they check ID 3 times? No. So the idea that people are starving and can't get their groceries because Costco's stopping them with ID, I mean, no one's making these ridiculous arguments, yet we make these arguments about voting. What do you think? Have you called your senators like the president asked? I'll see you in the next video.
Look, he's a clown in my view, a total clown. But why would you leave out Italian Americans? Why would you leave out Greeks? Why would you leave out Jewish? Well, we know that he's an anti-Semite. But why would he do that and then come around and say, oh, it's by accident? No, it wasn't. This is all the biggest scam, bigger than any mob scam, any mafia scam, any gasoline scam. This is the biggest scam that they perpetrate on you all the time. You need to understand this. People have asked me, Mike, would you guys have stood up for this back in the day? Okay, everyone. How's everyone doing? This is another sit down with Michael Francis. And as you can see, I'm not in my studio. I'm actually in a cigar lounge here in St. Moritz in Switzerland. And many of you know I've been away for the past week at my daughter's wedding. We had a great time. She was married this past weekend in Lake Como. It was a magical event. I have to say that Italy is beautiful. For all those of you who have never made it there, I just hope and pray and wish that one day you will. It was really terrific. Now we're in Switzerland, and we've been here for the last 2 days. I got to tell you something, people. Switzerland is absolutely amazing. Every place you look, it's like a scene out of a postcard. It's really unbelievable. It's one of the most expensive, from what I found out, places in all of Europe. But the people are wonderful. We found out everywhere that we go, and we just had a great time. From here, I'm going to Croatia. But I like to stay in touch with my viewers. I got some things that I really want to talk about. While I'm away, certain things happen that haven't made me happy. One is this Mondani, you know, the mayor of New York, who you all know I'm not very happy with. We'll get into that a little bit. I think you know what he's done here in the past several weeks. With the Italian Americans, that I found it very offensive myself. Let me tell you what he did. Many of you probably know this already, but what he did, he created this map for all the soccer players, and he left out, he put in all these various cities, but he left out Little Italy. Now, he said it was an accident. If you believe that, there's a bridge in Brooklyn that I'll sell you to. You know it wasn't an accident. He did it on purpose. You know who this guy, you know who he reminds me of? He's like a kid in a candy store. All of a sudden, he's in charge of the biggest city in the world, one of the biggest cities in the world. And before I get into anything, he did two things. Number one, he forgets to put Little Italy on the map. And number two, he denies the Italian American Civil Rights League a license to celebrate Columbus Day like we've done for the past 55 years, going back to when Joe Colombo started the league. You know, I'm personally involved in that. Going to get into that. Every year, they've been holding this event, the Italian American Civil Rights League has, that Joe Colombo started. Well, this year, he would not give them a license to hold the event. So what does that tell you? I want you first to hear some of the reaction of some of the Italian Americans after Mamdani did this. We have a little reel that we're going to play.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Did this. We have a little reel that we're going to play. The world doesn't need another wine. It really needs a reason to raise a glass again. A reason that's real. A reason that means something. Because most people, they drink to forget. We drink to remember where we came from, what we stand for, and who we We don't follow trends, we break them. Our bottles don't look like anyone else's because our story, it isn't like anyone else's. It's about freedom, about redemption, about family. That's what's inside every bottle. So, to the ones who think different, who live different, who drink different, salute. Take a look.
Dami, I give you a year. You are not a New Yorker. You have no clue.
I'm Isabella Reggi, and today we are here in Little Italy asking the locals how they feel about one of the oldest immigrant communities, Little Italy, not being included on Mayor Mamdani's immigrant enclave map.
I don't consider you to be my mayor.
I think it's disgraceful for what he's doing. He's got to be fair to everybody, and he's not fair to everybody. He's not fair to the Jewish people, which he makes everybody notice he's not fair to the Jewish people. He's not fair to the Irish people. And now he hates the Italians. For what reason? What do we do to them that he should hate us? And they always sort of pushed us to the side. I got it. There's Little Italy, they take care of their own problems. And we're always pushed aside. And I think it's about time that we have to be firm about this. Otherwise, we'll totally be forgotten.
If you understand what took place here over 100 years ago, between 1880 and 1920, when the mass migration of Italian immigrants first came, this was the stepping stone for the Italians.
Well, the Bari family came here 120 years ago from Sicily. They were immigrants. They landed down in what's known as the 5 Points. Grandma started the San Gennaro Festival. That right up there, that is Grandma. That is Grandma. Grandma from the Bari family. Okay, she is the heart and soul of this neighborhood.
My grandfather was on the side of St. Gennaro, which happens to be this year 100 years. So it means a lot to me, Little Italy, you know?
There's no such thing as left or right down here. Both sides of the street are beautiful.
And what makes New York City such a special place is a collage of many different cultures. People from all over.
If you haven't already, subscribe. 2,250 subscribers. Thank you, guys. Let's continue.
The world come here and settle. And they need to be recognized for the contributions that they brought to this wonderful country.
Yeah, and you know what? These people are rightfully outraged because this wasn't an accident. And let me tell you why. It wasn't Italy that he left out. He left out not only Italian Americans, but Jewish, Irish, and Greek communities. He left out all of these, but here's who he included. Listen to this. He featured places like Little Palestine in Bay Ridge, Little Bangladesh, Little Egypt in Astoria, multiple Chinatowns, and various Central South American, African, and other more recent or specific ethnic spots, which, by the way, he should have included them. We're not saying that, hey, you know, he left out Italian Americans and he should have left out all of these, or he should have kept Italian Americans and left out all of these. No. All of these little neighborhoods where certain ethnic groups, you know, have kind of a base, you know, he should include them all. But why would you leave out Italian Americans? Why would you leave out Greeks? Why would you leave out Jewish? Well, we know that he's an anti-Semite. That's very obvious. But why would he do that and then come around and say, oh, it was by accident? No, it wasn't. You know, this guy is not fooling anybody. People, listen to me. He is a socialist, but understand this. I want to get into this because it's very important. All of these people now that want to push socialism, they're pushing it on you. They're not including themselves in that. They don't give a damn about you. All this is about is having control over you because they're not going to live the same way you do. If the government is going to be handing out everything to all of you, it's only a reason for them to take control of you because they're not going to participate in that. If they were so concerned about you people, why would this country be $37 trillion in debt? They caused that. You didn't cause it. Many of you out there paid your taxes. You gave the money to them in good faith, believing that they were going to do the right thing with it. Instead, they enrich themselves, every one of them, even the ones that want to be socialists. They enrich themselves. They live well. They get all the perks. And meanwhile, they're leading you to believe that it's the wealthy people who support them, who give them money, who are their biggest donors. They're the ones that they cater to. This is all a big lie. You need to understand that it's all a big lie. Anytime the government wants to give you handouts, it's only because they want to control you. And remember, the handouts that they are giving you are your money. It's your taxpayer money that they're using. It's not their money. It's not anybody else's. It's your money. This is all the biggest scam, bigger than any mob scam, any mafia scam, any gasoline scam. This is the biggest scam that they perpetrate on you all the time. You need to understand this. Mamdani is doing this, and all of these socialists are doing this only to have control over you. You know, President Reagan said it right, and it doesn't matter that he's a Republican, he's a Democrat. He said it right. He said one of the worst things that you could ever hear is this: hi, we're from the government and we're here to help you. As soon as you hear that, you know you're in trouble. And people, let me tell you something. I wish that everybody can have a great healthcare system at a right price. I think universal healthcare would be a good thing. And there are some countries where it really works. I think it would be a good thing. If we can do that, it would be wonderful. But you know what? That's up to Congress to do. Congress hasn't been able to do this. Congress can pass a law or create a healthcare system that works for everyone, but they haven't done it. The same way they can create a system for immigration that works for everyone, but they haven't done it. It's on them. It's not on the billionaires. It's not on. This is all a smokescreen and a scam. It's all of these politicians, Republicans, Democrats. They all come to office. They all make themselves wealthy. They all waste taxpayer money. And then they want to make believe that they care about all of you. They don't. Mondami is a fraud. He's a phony. He's a fake. If I saw him in the street, I'd tell him the same thing. I'm not saying anything different here. Listen, I've lived out in California now for many years, but I'm a New Yorker at heart. I was born and raised there. I love the city. I love the state. But what this guy is doing is horrible. Now, let me get to another point. All of a sudden, after 55 years, he's refused the Italian-American Civil Rights League a license to go out and celebrate Columbus Day like they've been doing for 55 years, ever since Joe Colombo started it back in 1971. Why is he doing this? People, I take that personal. Joe Colombo, and listen, this is not a mob thing anymore. This is a legitimate thing run by Italian Americans who are proud of their heritage, who don't bother anybody, who don't impose anything on anybody. They just want to celebrate the contributions that Italian Americans have made to the state of New York, and there have been many. We came over here legally back in the early 1900s. We built the subway, we built the bridges, we built the roads, we built the buildings. Not alone, but we certainly participated in the building of New York as you see it now. Why would he tend to insult us? He didn't insult the Palestinians. He didn't insult people from Bangladesh. Why would he insult Italian Americans? This guy's a fraud and a phony, and he should be ashamed of himself. I look at him, like I said, like a kid in a candy store. He had a privileged upbringing. He didn't suffer at all. And let me tell you something, people. Quick question, everyone. How much control do you have over your money right now? Technology, it's changed everything, and now it's changing how your money works. Crypto started as a niche, but now it's going mainstream. You got faster payments, you got more control, you got fewer middlemen, and this is place. It's a non-custodial way, so you can use your debit exclusive promo code, barcode, click the enter promo today. We have to take responsibility. I don't live in New York anymore. I can't vote for the mayor. But we have to take some responsibility for this. The only reason he is the mayor of New York, and I understand it, you didn't have many choices. Cuomo was not a good choice. We all know what he did during COVID. We all know what kind of a governor he was. So he wasn't a good choice. We understand that. But people didn't get out and vote. The DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, they had a great ground game. They got to our young people that are being brainwashed in these colleges that socialism is all of a sudden a good thing. This country became the wealthiest country in the world because of capitalism. And let me tell you this right now. Let me tell you what hypocrites and phonies these are. $37 trillion in debt. Do you know that nobody should be poor or suffering in this country? It's the politicians that did it. It's not you or me, and it's not the billionaires. It's the politicians that have wasted the money that taxpayers have given to them year after year after year. That's why we're in debt. They take care of themselves. They don't care about the people.
Need a speaker. Your phone's real volume is locked. I'm about to show you a secret that the Android industry doesn't want you to know. Just go to Google Play, right? For free. Download this thing called the Volume Control Launcher. It's free. This thing is designed to remove the volume.
Care about the people. It's a big smoke screen. It's a big bill of goods that they're trying to sell you. It's all nonsense. And I'm talking about all of them. Republicans, Democrats, independents. When they get into that office, they think they're better than you. They think that they do.
Yes, they do. Subscribe if you haven't already. 2,250. Let's get it. Subscribe, and like.
Deserve more than you. They think that they're entitled more than you. They're not. They're public servants. We tend to forget that.
What up?
You put them in office. I put them in office. We elected them. We pay for them, and they abuse us. Many of them. Why is Nancy Pelosi a multimillionaire? Why? She's there on a congressional salary of a couple $100,000 a year. She's one of the most wealthiest women in the country. You know the deal. Insider trading. That's what she does. She gets away with it. You and I would go to jail. I'm talking about politicians across the board. Don't let them sell you on socialism.
Interact with the chat. You were about my goddamn hat. That's stupid as hell. a hat is the issue.
Let them sell you on doing their job for us. That's all there is to it. We shouldn't have a homeless person in this country. There is enough money around that we pay in our taxes that there shouldn't be any problem with either our health care or the homeless situation, but they don't care. They have wasted our money consistently year after year after year. And how do they resolve the deficits that they have? By taxing us more. Do you understand? I want you to think about this for a minute. We're $37 trillion in debt. That's taxpayer money that they squandered. And the way they want to fix it is by taxing you more. Does it make sense? Of course not. But this is what they do. These people need to be voted out of office. We need to make them understand we're not going to tolerate this from this anymore. This Mamdani, I'm praying that he's a one-term guy. He now wants to get on his, high horse and say he's going to arrest Netanyahu when Netanyahu comes here. Please. He's not going to do anything of a kind. This guy's a coward. No question about it. I got to tell you something. People have asked me, Mike, would you guys have stood up for this back in the day? We wouldn't have liked Mamdani. No. I understand that because I know you don't get this. But Mom, guys, we may have done our thing and we may have violated the law. And there's no question about that. But many guys fought in the war. They were patriots. We took care of our neighborhoods and our communities and our people. Anybody knows that. John Gotti's funeral, the procession was long. People in the neighborhood adored him because he took care of the people in his neighborhood and his community. And again, I don't want to get into all of that. Oh, who was a killer and all that? Yes, we did damage to our own. And every once in a while, we did damage to others. There's no question about that. We have to take responsibility for it. No question. But I'm telling you this right now. Many politicians in office are worse than some of the guys that I knew on the street, without a doubt. You know why? We didn't take an oath to uphold, the law. We didn't take an oath to work for the benefit of the people. We didn't do any of that. We were who we were. These people take an oath to act in your behalf, and they get into office and they totally violate that. They enrich themselves, and you could all be damned. Mamdani, you should be ashamed of yourself. You're an embarrassment. All these things that you want to try to do, you're not going to do it. You're chasing people out of New York. And I got to ask you this. What is this thing with billionaires? These people, the Jeff Bezos of the world, the Elon Musks, that work their asses off and use the system the right way. And as a result, they gain great wealth for themselves. Why do we resent that? Why? Do you know how many people Bezos puts to work on Amazon? Do you know how many people Elon Musk puts to work through his companies? Do you understand that? Do you understand he puts out products that benefit all of us? Why do we resent them? Well, they don't pay their fair share of taxes. Why not? Because Congress doesn't create a system to where there are no loopholes that they can do to avoid paying taxes? If they do, I'm not saying they do, but if that's the case, the Bernie Sanders and all these people, he's part of Congress. Fix the system. Fix it. Don't blame them for a system that you created. Don't blame them for loopholes that you created. It's the same with healthcare. Create a system that works for all of us, like they've done in various countries. Here in Scandinavia, they have healthcare systems that work. They may not be superior to ours in the administration or administering the healthcare, but they work for a number of people. Why can't our Congress do that? They're a bunch of hypocrites. That's all they are, people. I'm sorry. I just have to open your eyes to all of this. We have a governor, Newsom, same way. Total phony, total hypocrite, total liar. He's taken more money in from people to create a railway system, billions of dollars. He hasn't laid one piece of track.
No problem.
Our healthcare system is.
Once again, everybody's welcome to the chat, man. I have no problem with you dissing me. You can diss me or like me. It's all good. At the end of the day, we all God's children. At the end of the day, I hope everybody go to heaven. So other than that, everybody's welcome to the chat. I have no hate against nobody. I've been called names, all types of names. My name is Deunta. I be called Deunta, Dante, DeMonte. So it's all good when it comes to names, man. And on real, everybody's welcome to the chat. All I ask is subscribe and like it and go from there. If you can, share it. Or if not, keep on coming back to the chat. Ain't no problem.
Is underwater with fraud. We're underwater with everything, and he stands up there on his high horse. He's a phony. He's a hypocrite. He's worth millions of dollars. He's enriched himself at the behest and at the detriment of the people of California. You got him on this end in the West Coast. You got Mondami in New York, who's going to destroy that city. Just look, more people are moving to Miami, to Texas. They're leaving New York because of this maniac, and that's all that he is. He's a racist maniac. I'm sorry. That's the truth. So look, people, he should be ashamed of himself for what he's doing. He shouldn't be biased. He shouldn't be a hypocrite. And if he has a certain feeling about a certain ethnic group, keep it to yourself. You're the mayor of all the people. And the way you're conducting yourself is an embarrassment, and it's a disgrace. And I have a right, because I'm a former New Yorker, and I still have family there, and I still have friends and relationships, and they're all sick and tired of what you're doing. You should be ashamed of yourself. And all you young people, they're brainwashing you into believing that you need them. You don't need them.
They work for us. You
don't want them. All they're trying to do is control you. That's it. This isn't a fair distribution of wealth. It's all nonsense, because they're going to get a lot more than what they consider to be your fair share. Trust me on that. They're all a bunch of phonies and hypocrites. We're the ones that have to stick together. Let's force Congress, force them to give us a good healthcare system. Let's force Congress to use our money for our benefit, not to waste $37 trillion while they're all becoming wealthy. That's it. It's on them. It's not on us. They sell us a bill of goods. That's just a big lie. Look at the result. It's a big lie. I don't want to rant too much more about this, but Mondami, you should be ashamed of yourself. You really should. I say, he's a kid in a candy store.
Let's see. You said I got 19 viewers in the chat. That's cool. I got 19 viewers in the chat. I have no arguments with that. But you don't see what I see overall. As overall, I have 8.9 thousand views right now. Then at 9,000 views. So if you want to diss my channel, go ahead. It's cool. But as of right now, I got 9,000 views as of right now as we talking. And it's steady growing.
He got into office. He's got the biggest city in the world. And now he thinks who the hell he is. He's a clown in my view. Look at him. A total clown. And unfortunately, our young people are being brainwashed into believing that he's some kind of a savior, that he's not going to do anything. Trust me, because people in this country are too wise to his nonsense. And I know he's making some inroads. That's because people are apathetic. They're not going to the polls. They're not voting. But I think we're going to see a change. We're going to see a difference. I'm telling you now. Anyway, people, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to be doing a lot more lives. My team has been really encouraging me to do that. I'm going to be doing that. I will be back in a week, and our videos will be consistent again. We're just out here vacationing, people. I know you understand that, but I really appreciate all of you tuning in. We had a good turnout tonight. Thank you very much. So that's how it is today. How do I always leave you? Same way, never going to change. Be safe, be healthy. God bless each and every one of you, and I really mean that. Your families are...
You're asking about a son? Camps.
You know, there's a lot of people in America, especially, and in the West, who have got it too good, mate. They've got it too cushy. These people have everything given to them, all the ideologies, all these companies go along with it, right? These people go into every Starbucks and all the pride flags are there, and if they don't see it, they start talking about how America hates them, and they're going to jump ship and go to another country where they don't play that. They don't play that. And a lot of these people find out the hard way.
Jane Michelle Hawk, a transgender software engineer from San Francisco, thought Trump's America was becoming so dangerous, so fled to the Netherlands to claim asylum and ended up sharing a refugee camp with a bunch of illegal immigrants from Islamic countries.
I wonder how that went. I wonder how that went. Should have stayed in America, mate.
Possibly go wrong.
And it is too dangerous to walk from here to the grocery store because of the people that live in the camp.
Oh, I don't know. They look perfectly charming and friendly to me.
I thought these people were great. I thought we were, rooting for these people, weren't we? Right?
You're all refugees. Surely there's a sense of mutual respect and kindness.
I live here.
Yeah.
You see all these guys in yellow vests? They actually wear vests because there's so many stabbings.
Right. Maybe not then. I'm sorry, but this is utterly...
This is the same fella who was in America, by the way, walking down the street with a flag talking about having open borders, refugees are welcome here, and now look at him. Seems like reality came knocking this time.
Hilarious. He thought San Francisco was too dangerous to live in as an LGBT person. Yeah, San Francisco.
Yeah.
It felt very unsafe to stay in San Francisco.
How? You've literally got your own flipping LG TV HD PS5 bus. What do you mean? Where you're going? They don't play that, mate.
Go.
It felt very unsafe to stay in San Francisco and the United States. The only thing that I felt was safe to do was flee the United States.
So chose instead to live in a migrant camp. So dangerous. Even the Red Cross refuses to visit it.
The Red Cross, who was helping you, they say it's too dangerous to come here now. What do you think?
No help. Amongst people from countries which take, let's just say, a dim view of the rainbow people.
Between here and there is a bunch of Algerians and Moroccans or whoever who think that queer people should be beaten.
Yeah, maybe should have thought about that before.
If this fella went to where these people are actually from, GG's, mate, you're going to be on a t-shirt. That'll be you. Salute, mate.
And presumably Jane thought it would be full of needy, stricken women and children fleeing war and persecution, when in fact it was full of violent, abusive young men roaming around trying to stab people.
Oh, it's scary. It's legitimately scary.
That's what we've been saying, but these people want this stuff in society. And then when they go there, and then they end up saying exactly what we've been saying this whole time. Because these people live in flipping Lulu land.
I decided that my mental health is degrading so substantially being here that I just need to get out. And the situation that I have in the U.S. as a trans person, not good, right?
How?
But here I will be hurt or killed.
And given Jane's progressive politics, the exact type of people he voted for time and time again to import into America.
Yep.
Palestine. Have you ever witnessed such an astonishing act of stupidity, thinly disguised as self-aggrandizing virtue signaling?
Well, this is the thing, right? These people were walking down the streets of America, right? They got it all good. They got pride flags everywhere. Everyone bends the knee and is too scared to offend these people, right? Talking about gays for Palestine when Palestine ain't for gays, mate.
I think that this system where you have people just living out here that are unhappy is not good.
But wait. It gets funnier. When Jane initially fled Trump's America and ended up at Amsterdam's Schiphol airport sobbing and asking how to claim asylum, what did customs officers do? They laughed. Yeah, I bet they did. What's this big dumb American doing here asking about asylum? And then they realised I was serious. Shortly after arriving in the refugee camp last year, Jane said, unlike in the US, I'm not worried that someone here is going...
Should have gone to the UK, mate. They would have put you in a flipping 5-star hotel, got you a PS5, flipping 3 meals a day, got you driving lessons, the whole lot. You went to the wrong place, pal.
To kill me. Adding, this is the dumbest thing I've ever done. I did it because I was afraid for my life. Yeah, that worked out well, didn't it?
Oh, it's scary. It's legitimately scary.
But don't go anywhere, because I'll tell you how it all ended up for Jane Michelle Ark.
Not surprisingly, trans women are fleeing the United States. Yes, there's a wave of American refugees.
Given they were all trying to get into America, the North African and Middle Eastern asylum seekers were totally perplexed as to why Jane was trying to leave. One of the main reasons for him leaving America...
How long do you think this Jake person would actually be in their country? How long are we talking in hours? You know, I'm not saying I want them to do that. I'm just saying, realistically here, the world ain't sunshine and rainbows. If this person went there, how long do you reckon they would last? I'm talking hours here. It's not going to be long, is it?
in the first place was the abuse he received when trying to use the ladies' toilet. Yeah, I can't imagine why that would upset people.
Men shouldn't be in women's dressing rooms. Okay, but what's your solution?
Another was Trump banning transgenders from competing in women's sports.
When the president wants to make an executive order about trans women, whether they're young women or teenagers in sport or adults such as myself, it's hard to not take that personally.
He thought he'd never go back to the States.
Like, I am an American person, and I don't know that I can ever go back.
But Jane's personal experience of what living amongst diversity truly looks like didn't quite live up to his utopian preconceptions.
It is too dangerous to walk from here to...
You know what this person is experiencing right now?
Good luck on that.
This is what people are experiencing in Europe.
Just like a Democrat. He don't like what's going on. He wants to get somebody banned. That shit's stupid as hell.
You know, their hometowns are becoming like this. In 10, maybe not even 10, it's happening now, but in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, can you imagine what it's going to be like?
46 videos, stop it.
In Europe. I mean, we're seeing the downfall right now. Can you imagine how it's going to be in a decade? I don't know. I can't even think about it.
Grocery store.
And he's not the only one who regrets the decision.
I'm from Albania, and I come here just for help because I was treated not good here, and I'm bad more than my country. If I know that it will be here like this, I will never come to this country. I was one time attacked from one person with a knife, with no reason. They come attacked us, trying.
And these people vote for this stuff.
Like 10,000 views.
These people literally vote for this stuff. It's the same with these women that vote for open borders, and then the next day they're making videos talking about it's not safe to walk alone at night.
Paul P2, thanks for the super chat.
It hurts my brain, all this. It really does.
Thank you.
Trans people, gay people, they attack us with not reason. It's
Paul P2, thank you for the super chat. Thank you, man. Appreciate that.
hard here to live.
Wait a minute, you mean to say these guys are not the biggest supporters of trans rights? Oof. Who could have possibly predicted that? The locals living in the town where the refugee camp is based, which is so dangerous even aid workers refuse to go near it, have also seen their peace and security shattered.
Als vrouw zijnde in Ter Apel is het niet veilig om met schemer en avonden nog bij pad te gaan. We hebben veel te doen met seksuele straatintimidatie, met agressie, met mensen die zwaar onder invloed zijn van drugs of van alcohol.
Like, share, and subscribe, you guys. Thank you. Look at this. 2 more subscribers. Thank you.
Vrouwen aanzitten of mensen achtervolgen in het bos. Wij kunnen geen vrouwelijke kleding meer aan.
I don't want anyone to go through this. We've been telling them this for the longest, haven't we? Right? I don't want to see people go there and experience this, right? But if you're that delusional, right? And these people vote for this stuff. You'll vote.
It's 2 hours and 30 minutes, you guys. I've been screaming with you guys. 2 hours and 30 minutes. Thank you.
Voting for a dangerous thing because these people vote for this stuff, and somebody out there is experiencing the consequences of what you're voting for. You know, a lot of people are. These people have to be flipping bonkers to think that America is unsafe and then go to these places and think they're better off. When being trans doesn't even exist in these places. Even if you mention that, you're in trouble.
Get thrown off a fucking roof.
Zonder dat er seksuele straatintimidatie wordt gepleegd.
Yeah, when the diversity is such a strength, refugees are responsible for 141 out of 144 shoplifting incidents. So how did it all end up for Jane Michel? Well, according to his Substack blog, Trump's America was so dangerous to live in as a transgender person that he decided to leave the refugee camp in the Netherlands and is set to fly back to Trump's America. It is time to go.
Well, I will say I'm glad that this person's okay. I'm glad nothing, bad happened to him. Hopefully, this person can go back, right? And
right, Assault 13, right. You see that Salty Savage? The man dissing people's channel, his channel is trash. He ain't on shit. All he do is go to conservative channels and just troll all day. I don't think he even got a job.
And talk about their story and try and tell everyone that, look, I went there, I experienced it, I saw it. We shouldn't be voting for this stuff. I hope that's what's happening here. But I doubt it. Because we've seen this before with other people. We've watched content of people that have done similar things. They've come back and they've continued to live the lie that these people are amazing people. We should have them as our neighbors living in our houses. Like, I hope that's not the case.
Just need to get out.
Yeah, turns out San Francisco, one of the most dementedly left-wing cities on the planet, isn't that dangerous when compared to living next door to these fellas.
Hey, fuck you! Yeah, this is my country, Alta.
The thing is, it's like these people get annoyed that other people don't participate in their delusion. You know, people in America have been doing that, and then they decide that it's unsafe for them. What? Like, you have to be next level brainwashed to literally flee a safe country. That's just crazy. And this person said this is the dumbest thing I've ever done. Personally, I think that's the second dumbest thing you've ever done, but it was close. As we're on the topic, I saw this video come up as well by Liberty Hangout, big fan. Open border Democrats tried to boot me from public campus. Why am I not surprised?
So we need y'all to get out of here with your sign.
What do you mean? Oh, you have...
So these people believe in open borders, but then they don't want people there in that community. They want to kick them out and enforce their own borders.
Borders on this campus.
No, we have this space reserved as an official event.
Yeah, so you have borders. Where's your borders at?
This whole green area right here.
So you want to control who comes in and out.
Yep.
Like an ICE agent or a border patrol agent.
Got him.
You wouldn't dare act like a fascist, would you? We want people to know what you guys support and who you support being on your campus to make it a sanctuary campus.
Uh-oh.
She's telling the cops.
Whoa. Actually, I'm very fearful for my life, and I think I'm going to be shot by multiple guns in the back of my head for being an illegal immigrant. It's because brown people are treated like that in this country. This isn't going to go well for you guys.
We're here at UC.
That guy is a Prestige 1000 victim right there.
Where there is a demand event on campus to get UCF to declare itself a sanctuary campus so that illegal aliens can be here safely, have sanctuary, and not be deported. You know exactly how this is going to go, so let's just roll the tape.
Yeah, we know how this is going to go. All the people that, believe in all the open border stuff, it's always funny how they look. All of them look the same. It's like copy and paste. Every time, I swear.
You need to be a tech wizard to work in cybersecurity?
Like,
You
share,
don't.
and subscribe, everybody.
At Miller
If you haven't
Mott, our
already, like,
online...
share, and subscribe. Name is Deunta.
Man, they got their own intro going
Welcome,
and
welcome.
everything.
Hi, nice to meet you. I'm great. We have the space reserved. Of course. And I do know that TPUSA is over there. Yeah. Do you guys...
In other words, because you disagree with us, you're not allowed in. Right, so we're enforcing our own borders even though we don't believe in borders. That's pretty much what she's saying.
Is mine interviewing people over there?
Man.
I'm gonna...
Yeah, Caitlin, she be on it, man. With the facts and information, she be on it, man. Liberty hangs out. Yep.
say right here, this is public property, and even though you have it reserved, it doesn't mean you can tell people to leave and get out of your space. I'm engaging in my First Amendment rights. I have every right to be here on public property. Awesome, thank you. So let me ask you, you're an organizer? On the phone right now. I'll talk to you in 5 seconds. Is that okay? Yeah, please come back and find me. Yeah, for sure.
Reserved, so we need y'all to get out of here with your signs.
Ball nose ring, every time.
What do you mean? Oh, you have borders on this campus.
No, we have this space reserved as an official event.
Yeah, so you have borders. Where's your borders at?
This whole green area right here.
Oh, so you want to control who comes in and out, like an ICE agent or a border patrol agent.
Thank you, Black Guy.
You wouldn't dare act like a
man.
fascist, would you?
Man. All you guys
Yeah, he's got the Check My Hard Drive starter pack as well.
You have beautiful green eyes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I take pride in my eyes. They are very nice. So I appreciate the compliment.
Yeah.
Why is he
So
shaking?
I would really encourage you on a rally on a campus. This is an event for sanctuary campuses. You probably shouldn't act like a fascist border patrol agent.
Yeah.
You should take down your borders and let
I find that very offensive, personally.
whoever wants on the space, okay?
That's what these people do, by the way. If they don't know what to say, just stand there. Don't say anything or they walk away. It's normally what they do.
Freeze.
Why is your lip quivering?
Uh-oh, he's shaking.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Why are you
Because
shaking?
you've been called out on how you're acting exactly like how you don't, what you're advocating against. You're acting just like them.
Don't be shaking, bro.
What a donut.
So if you believe in illegal aliens allowing to have sanctuary on this campus, put your money where your mouth is, leave me alone, and let me have sanctuary on this campus, okay? Thank you for your time. I appreciate it, Green Eyes. Organizers here?
I think I'm just
You think you're an organizer? You don't know?
You don't
They just
know.
handed you a vest?
No, I'm wear it with responsibility.
Okay, what responsibility do you have today?
Keeping people safe.
Keep people safe?
Check his hard drive. Yep. I can sense it. I can sense it. Check the hard drive on the double and the spare one.
Okay, I trust you.
Okay, yeah, sorry about that.
You don't want him talking to me, do you? Why can't he talk to me? You don't tell people what to do with their bodies, do you?
Yeah, don't do
We're
that.
not doing that today, right?
Nope.
Oh, look at that.
Just done doing the supervisor look. I can do that as well. Right? Shit's getting serious.
Look at that glare. You're bringing that they-them energy. That's awesome. I'm totally, wow. I am very, very scared. You are very intimidating. That's very honest. I was wondering if I could leave one of these at your table.
It's amazing how my Trump hat get you guys triggered, man. Wow. No, my hat is made in America, man. I got it from California. Got it shipped from California to Rockford. My hat is not Chinese. As far as Trump watch and the Trump phone, I got none of those things. Not even the shoes. You know what I'm saying? You got us MAGAs confused, man. On the real. We love America. I'm an American first person. Yeah, I voted for Trump. Doesn't mean I'm gonna buy everything Trump owns and got. That's the problem with you guys. That's fucked up.
Actually,
These people just always look so miserable.
Show my head.
Like, they never want to have a conversation. They're never happy. They're always miserable. They're always aggressive. They're always hypocrites. Man, I would not want to be like them. They look so unhappy, don't they?
this is an illegal alien who murdered a woman. Can you keep that at your table to just show like what you guys support?
Right, the cell phones we use made in China, the parts in our cars from China, just about everything damn near is from China. So what's the problem? But no, my hat is from America though. But you know, thanks for asking. I don't mind showing it. You know, that's crazy.
And this person has cross earrings. So, suspicious.
This illegal alien is the one who just bludgeoned a woman to death. This
Right, I ain't buy no Trump stocks, no phone, none of that stuff. All I bought was a couple of hats here and there. I only have a Trump t-shirt. All my shirts are all American flags and patriotic stuff. I got a couple of Trump hats. That's it. You know what I'm saying? But it's cool that you guys assume all this shit. It goes to show you how slow you guys are in your feelings. You got no facts. You don't know who I am. You ain't even watch none of my videos. I'm Deunta Lockett. You can Google my name. But that's fucked up though. How a hat can just make you guys go weird. But once again, you guys are welcome to the chat.
month in Florida with a hammer. So you guys think that these guys deserve sanctuary on your campus? No. You should leave those there for trans.
You know, all these people, you know the first video we watched? All these people should be sent there for a week's holiday and then come back. That's what I think.
Transparency. You guys support those guys.
She don't
I
care.
have more.
Right, because me showing my hat, the shit is, you know what I'm saying, it's an American made hat. I really didn't have to, because I really got nothing to prove. But you guys here in the chat, and I appreciate it. So I don't mind sharing it. But other than that, I'm not here to just take off my shirt or do something stupid for you guys. You fucking serious? That's crazy though. But other than that, let's continue.
I actually have 60. I can just leave them all with you. So this one right here, he killed his baby mama. And one of the other ones you have on there is his friend who also killed.
I'll take that.
Yeah, can you display them out here? Like, you know, like, could you display them right here?
I'll take
to let,
from you.
oh, no, I'm just going to leave them here for you.
Okay, then leave it on the table.
Yeah, can you put the other ones down here?
On the table.
We want people to know what you guys support and who you support being on your campus to make it a sanctuary campus. These people right here. All right, can you put...
She's going to take them and put them straight in the bin because it doesn't go along with her ideology.
The other one's here. Go ahead, put it right here. He's from Honduras. Illegal alien, came across the border illegally, killed his baby mama.
Yikes, man.
She would have been totally safe had he been deported in the first place. The other people you have, there's one in there who killed a 9-year-old child. Why wouldn't you want to show people?
Yeah, I'm not required to put these on the table.
I know your handlers told you not to do that. I know these were part of the activism packet that they got in the mail to hold this event today. But would you be okay with showing people?
Imagine being presented that and still supporting that. Anyone with any sort of human decency and moral.
You guys are sick. Okay, I showed my hat. Now I want to show a tattoo and a watch and phone. You guys are obsessed with Trump for real. I just told you I only got a few things with Trump. Only a hat. Damn. I don't got no shoes, no phones, none of that stuff. No crypto. None of that. Wow. You guys really think MAGA's all in on? No. I love America. Jesus Christ. Just don't let's hate Trump on it. Amazing.
Compass would look at that and feel sick to their stomach, right? And not advocate for that. Or am I missing something?
You think should have sanctuary on your campus? Would you be okay with that?
Man.
Or you could say, I don't want this guy on my campus. Could you say that?
You can tell that the cross earrings are just for decoration. She doesn't follow the cross, that's for sure.
Could you say you don't want people on this campus?
Unfortunately, you're not going to get any clips out of me. So I'm not an entertaining person to try and rage bait. So I advise you to move on. Well, I'm not going to give you what you want.
Okay, put it down by I can talk to. Actually, I don't want to tell her what to do with her body or anything, so I don't think we should tell her what to do with her body either. Oh, that's a boy. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
He uses he, him pronouns.
Okay, what is a he? What is a he?
A man?
What is a man? What is a boy?
Whoever...
These people, man.
Crazy shit.
Oh, I wish I had as much free time as he's got.
Identifies as a man or a boy?
Can you define man or boy without using the term man or boy?
What? If somebody identifies as such, that is what they are.
Yeah, but what is it?
Sure.
Do you have a question about our event or what we're doing here?
Yeah, well, I'm very I'm just confused. What is a man or a boy?
So I understand that you don't understand what a transgender person is, and that's fine. But today we're actually doing an event against ICE.
You know, as a crocodile today, a saltwater crocodile, that's what I am, because I identify as that. Anyone who disagrees, by the way, you get cancelled. So I hope you guys respect that. As a saltwater crocodile, you know, I understand where this person's coming from. You know.
Now we got to go help people customize and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Libby, where's the golf cart?
You know.
And for international students, and also to get raises for faculty at UCF.
Okay. And then how would we know? How do you know that is a boy over there?
Because he told me.
But what does that mean that he is?
This is not what I'm talking about today.
Just what is a boy? What is a man?
I'm happy to talk about ICE on campus if you'd like.
So you say we stupid. She voted for I'm pretty sure Biden and Harris, and she can't even tell you what a woman is or what is he and them means. But you call us stupid. Get the fuck out of here.
You guys actually did see our memorial over there.
So unless this person told her she would have assumed that that's a girl, right? Because we're all born with a pair of eyes and we can all see from a young age who's a boy and who's a girl, right? There's a few who have gone behind enemy lines, sure, but 99% of people would have said that's a girl.
For the 52 victims
Mostly.
that have died in ICE custody or as they were being in pursuit of ICE, or ICE was in pursuit of them.
So what do you think about if one of these guys showed up to your campus before they killed someone?
Did they actually murder people?
Yes, they did. Okay. This guy just murdered
Have any of these people taken any of them in? I doubt it.
a woman outside of a gas station this month. He bludgeoned her to death with a hammer.
Okay.
Oh,
and he
man.
targeted her. This person killed his baby mama along with one of his other illegal alien friends. Would these people have sanctuary on your campus?
No, because they're murderers.
So before they murdered someone, then they would have sanctuary on your campus.
If they're an innocent human being, then yeah, an innocent human being should have sanctuary in the country that they live in.
Wouldn't it be problematic had we deported these people when they got apprehended by ICE and Border Patrol? Wouldn't it have been better to deport them because they committed a crime coming here illegally than to wait for them to commit a crime when they're here?
Not having your papers and being a documented citizen, that is a civil offense, not a criminal one.
Where do you find that at?
The definition of a civil offense or a criminal one?
Where do you find that crossing the border is just as...
It's simple. Why are we paying for them to be in American jails and courts? Send their ass back where they came from. It's much less money. They came here breaking the law. Send their ass right back. Don't keep their ass here. No, send their ass back. Simple shit.
civil offense.
The law.
Which law?
I don't know the statute number. I just know that it's a law.
Do you know what code it's under?
No, I don't.
Right, none of these people understand. You go to China or overseas, do anything these people are doing, you're getting fucked up. Why do these people understand that? And you guys in this chat want to keep on trolling. You guys know we telling the truth. That's why y'all keep on coming to our channels. You know us conservatives telling the truth. You guys waking up. Democrat socialist parties are bogus and they are destruction to America. We can't have this coming. And you guys know that. Ain't shit for free. Jesus Christ died on the cross for our sins. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't free. What the blank?
Memorize that stuff.
I have it here for you. It's Title 8, U.S. Code 1325. It is a criminal offense for illegal entry. It's not civil, it's criminal. It's a federal criminal misdemeanor.
So I know that you're...
These people don't care about the law. All they care about is if things go along with their ideologies. What a bunch of muppets.
Caitlin Bennett, right? That's your name? So me reading this off a piece of paper, I can't trust you.
Could anyone look up Title 8 U.S. Code 1325? Could anyone do that for her?
Have you considered that?
You could actually do it. Do you have your phone?
Considered that, undocumented people are less likely to commit crime than naturalized Americans?
You know undocumented people who come across the border are criminals by definition, and I just read you the U.S. Code.
I'm not being funny, right? Not to be horrible, but when you hear a 0.1% testosterone starter pack voice like that, you already know he's going to say something stupid.
Drink over underage.
That's right.
Criminality is not morality.
Yeah, so it is a criminal offense. They are already criminals. Well, that's by definition, they are criminals if they cross the border illegally.
And I think a lot of people have lost faith in the criminal justice system and classifying people as others because of things that they did as a result of American foreign policy. That is, I think a lot of students are here to recognize that we're not going to trust the U.S. government to tell us who is worthy and who is not worthy of human rights.
It's not about who is worthy and who isn't worthy. It's about protecting our country and having immigration law like every single other country has.
I mean, you look at the places that have open borders, right? And then you look at the places that have closed borders, strict laws, strict regulations for that stuff, right? Like Poland. Poland, for example, looks incredible. It looks amazing. They've stuck by the people. There's no crimes in the streets, right? You look at Europe. Most of Europe.
Right, most of these people going to these vacation spots overseas, and they're like, oh, this is nice. That's how the country looks. So the States, no, that's not how it works. You only go into the nice areas. Get outside the nice areas. Get out the resort areas. You get your ass fucked up. But nobody want to do no research or take the time to go travel overseas, see for themselves. They see TV or a Hollywood movie, and that's their research. That's crazy.
Is cooked because they've allowed this stuff, right? If it was the other way around, I would agree with these people. But there's no one can prove to me that that is better than that, because it's night and day difference. It is night and day difference.
Well, would I be allowed to go to Guatemala, declare myself a Guatemalan citizen, start applying for all the benefits there, just integrating into the community? I get every single thing those people get, and I can vote in their elections? Can I say, nope, he's going to answer the question. No, you're going to answer the question. Well,
It's quite likely that as an American, you will enjoy the benefit of American imperialism. I mean, the United States government is already collaborating.
That wasn't my question.
Right,
Could I go into another country, declare myself a citizen because I have human rights to be there? Do you think I should be allowed to go into their country unvetted, skirt their immigration laws, and have nothing happen to me?
What I do have a strong opinion on is our tax dollars paying for an unlicensed, out-of-control mafia in the form of federal immigration enforcement that are killing people every day. You see all of the memorials over there? Those are people that were murdered by agents of our government. And my
American citizens. 1 second, ma'am. I'll get to you. I know you want to talk to me. I don't want to talk to you.
So what is your answer to that? Why do you care more about foreign countries than what our tax dollars are paying for in this country?
I support my tax dollars paying for ICE officers.
Well, you're actually in the minority on that.
No, I'm not. Donald Trump ran on mass. You guys won't let me. You won't let me answer.
Well, Caitlin's right about that. He won the election at the end of the day. So clearly, a lot of people don't want what these lot are advocating for.
Hold on. I'm not.
Like, share, and subscribe to the channel, you guys, if you haven't already. My name is Deunta. Thanks for stopping by. It's a long video. I'm glad you guys here with me. It's been 2 hours and 53 minutes. It's a long one. Almost finished. Subscribe.
Talking about Donald Trump specifically. He won the popular vote. Campaigning on mass deportation. I voted for that.
And where's his votes now?
I am okay.
He's the most unpopular American president in this century.
I don't care. I don't care about that.
You're contradicting me.
It doesn't matter. He still won, though. So, people can say one thing. People lie, numbers don't. At the end of the day, he won the votes. He won the people.
I don't care what his poll ratings are. I don't care. I voted. Am I okay? Is it okay if I answer you and then you answer me? So I don't need you to mansplain, right? You guys are against mansplaining, right?
Oh, are you a social justice warrior?
Today I am. Today I am. So don't mansplain, okay? Stick to your own words. Stick to your own. Well, what is a man? Do you know what a man is?
I don't care. I'm focused on the murder.
Anyway, let me. Yeah, these people also murdered American residents. You know that, right?
Yeah, they are a small proportion of crime in the United States, and it's horrific when anybody is killed. That's why the intelligent grown-up.
Hold on, you said a small proportion of crime. That memorial over there is also quite small. And I think that they matter. Hold on. Let me respond. Okay, that's how a nice conversation happens. Those people in your memorial all mattered. I believe they were all children of God that mattered, okay? That doesn't mean that they had a right to be here illegally. And I'm so upset that they died. I wish they hadn't. But the thing is, do you think...
the fact Caitlin has to walk around with security, right? 2 security guys just proves how crazy these other lot are. Because if you don't agree with them, they resort to violence and they want to see you eliminated. We've seen it in the past. We saw it with Charlie Kirk. We've seen it with Trump. We've seen it with lots of people. I've had the same messages from these people. I'm not even kidding. I've had the same messages thousands of times I've had paragraphs from people wishing the worst possible things happen to me, my family and everything, just because they listen to me and I've got a different opinion, right? I get comments all the time for different opinions. That's great. I don't wish any harm towards anyone who disagrees with me. You got to be a lunatic, right? You got to be an absolute lunatic. She has to walk around with security to protect herself from these people because they would attack her. And she's not the only one.
Wait, if you were locked up at any Illinois juvenile detention center, such as Cook County,
herself from these people because they would attack her. And she's not the only one. She's not the only
These people who killed American citizens also deserve to be talked about, and the victims also deserve to be talked about. Would you partner with me and Turning Point USA on this campus to hold a memorial for the 15,000 Americans who have been killed by illegal aliens?
Oof, man.
I think that. Would you be okay with that?
I would hold a memorial for anybody that's been murdered, and
Then okay. I think we could get Turning Point. Let's where's Matthew? Matthew.
No, this isn't
Matthew.
Uh-oh.
Matthew, come here. Come here. This person right here.
equal value of all life.
He's the vice president of Turning Point USA at UCF.
How's it going?
There's some people here who agree to holding a memorial. Hold on, we're holding a conversation. You can ask him a question later. He actually said that he would work with you guys to hold a memorial for the 15,000 Americans who were killed.
They're backtracking now. They're backtracking. It don't go along with their ideology.
By illegal aliens.
That is wonderful. Let's organize it. Absolutely. My name is Matthew.
No.
Matthew.
Yeah, what's your name?
Why wouldn't you want to?
Your friend here is telling you things that aren't true. And listen,
what'd you say?
this is what your job is
What,
to distort.
could you clarify what you said?
I'll be happy to. What I said is that all life is sacred and all life should be memorialized. And right now we're talking about the
absolutely
deaths of dozens of people. So then would you agree with me that the deaths of these Americans at the hands of our federal immigration enforcement is just as horrific?
It's kind of scary that these people do not care about their own people. You know, they don't care about the American citizens or anyone in Europe as well, where we're experiencing the same things, right, with the immigration and all that. They don't care about these people being victim to the crimes of these immigrants, right? These people do not care about people on their own soil. That's sad, really.
As the murder of any American.
Yeah, but those weren't murders per se. Sorry.
There's an 11-month-old that has died at the hands of ICE.
Who's the 11-month-old?
See, that's the thing. They're so fixated on ICE. You could present to these people the exact same things, but worse.
Right, Mr.
By people who aren't American, right? And these people would never defend the American people who fall victim to them, because it doesn't go along with their ideology. It's simple as that. These people know the truth. They don't want to hear it. They just have their way of thinking. If it doesn't go along with their beliefs and their opinion, they reject it completely.
I don't know his name.
What's his name?
You can see the names of them as they're listed right.
So I think Matthew.
I'm actually interested to know, because you just made that claim. I want to know who the 11-month-old who was killed by ICE. I want to learn about this.
I can look it up.
I think that would be egregious if an 11-month-old, 11-month-old was killed by ICE. I want to hear
murdered by ICE.
Oh, excuse me, murdered by ICE. Yeah, I want to hear about that.
Yet your tax dollars are paying for that to happen at the hands of government agents.
Hey, buddy, just so you know.
Renee Good and Alex Patty or Pretty, how you pronounce it, didn't violate lives. No, they didn't. They woke up, got dressed, and went to go agitate motherfuckers, people at work, ICE agents. Blocking, traffic, honking their horn. And then when asked to step out the car, they try to drive off and hit the officer. Just stayed at home.
Planned Parenthood is right over there, and they're the largest killer of babies in America, and our tax dollars go to them.
Yeah, good point. And a lot of this stuff, gender-affirming care, which is a load of nonsense, right? They're just feeding delusions. They're removing and doing all this stuff.
Bro, they took away Aunt your mama, Uncle being rice. What are you talking about? Trump didn't do none of that. You guys allowed this doggone Black Lives Matter trash. Get rid of Aunt your mama and Uncle being rice. What are you talking about?
To kids and all that with taxpayers' dollars, right? And these people are okay with that.
Babies in the United States military that's bombing school children overseas right now. But yeah, I don't hear that bring up the conversation.
It is
interesting.
Thousands of abortions that occur every year from Planned Parenthood.
One thing I do want to say, I think we could come. Hold on one second. I do want to hear what you're saying, but let me finish what I'm saying, and we'll come to you. Matthew, and what's your name?
Cameron.
I think we could come together, a Turning Point event, and what group are you with?
I'm with the Florida Youth Action Fund.
Okay, perfect. We could hold an event together memorializing the 1,500 Americans that were killed by illegal aliens.
They won't do that. They won't do that. They will not do that.
Hands right?
I think that would be a great idea.
You seem to be very giddy about me being here. You're very excited. Who has...
A lot of these people have crosses on. But did they really follow the cross? I don't think so.
More of a right to sanctuary on this campus. Women who go here and pay to go here, or illegal aliens in the country?
Well, if we're a sanctuary, if we're not a sanctuary for everybody, then we're a sanctuary for no one. So that's my take.
You want to be a sanctuary for criminal illegal aliens, rapists, and murderers on this campus?
What are you on about, man?
The illegal aliens who we can't vet. You want this to be a sanctuary campus for them, right?
I just don't want ICE coming in and kidnapping students.
So you want it to be a sanctuary campus where illegal aliens cannot expect to be deported.
If the student got their visa and everything up to par, they ain't have to worry about getting taken out. Don't come to America and then, you know what I'm saying, and then get the benefits, but then don't want to assimilate all the way. That's fucked up. What are you talking about? You can't be here for 10 years, 30 years, and then you get mad when ICE come and get you if you don't got your shit together. That's on you, you idiot. You guys, we as Americans cannot go overseas and do what these illegals are doing. And y'all know that. Us as Americans cannot go overseas and do this shit. I'm an American. They're going to look at our dumb ass and slap the shit out of us and throw us in jail or off a fucking roof. And you guys know this. But you're going to play stupid. I don't understand that. That's crazy. These people doing, you can't do that overseas. You can't. You can't stay that long.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. Who has more of a right to feel secured here and have a sanctuary? The students, the women who pay to go here, or unvetted men who come across the border?
Well, if they're all students, they kind of like have the...
And that's a no-brainer. You can't go nowhere overseas in other countries and stay and do what the fuck you want to do. And come on, really? You can't dress a certain way. How these women dress at these beaches? Colleges wearing these bonnets and all this other trash, whatever. They can't do this overseas. East, they can't do that. And they know that. And if they don't, somebody need to tell them.
Right to be here.
I'm not talking about all students. I'm talking about illegal aliens who could claim sanctuary on this campus.
Yeah, I'm chill with them. Like, what do you...
That umbrella's got more IQ than Earth.
You want to be like, oh, you don't have papers, get the freak off campus. Like, nah, I'm chill. I love people. You know, just like my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I love God, love people. Okay. And that includes living people who don't have papers.
Okay. This person didn't have papers coming in. He just murdered a Florida woman here in Florida. He beat her to death with a hammer, a Haitian immigrant, illegal. Would you grant him sanctuary on this campus?
Right.
I want to say that, like, white men also commit crimes. Americans also.
That wasn't the question.
See, this is what I mean, right? They just dismiss anything that these people do. Most people go, if they didn't know, they'd be like, what? Wow, yeah, we need to check these people, right? These people just dismiss it. That's how crooked these people's minds are. They get presented with the worst crimes, and they just laugh it off and dismiss it like it's some sort of joke.
Yeah, and so I'm just not going to be cornered into your thing. So, like,
would you have granted him sanctuary on your campus?
I don't know who that guy is, so.
You don't know any of the illegal aliens.
America is not a stolen land. Stop saying that stupid shit. What school y'all went to? America was conquered. Like most of these lands, it was conquered. It wasn't stolen. Jesus Christ. And then you guys about MAGA, get some about talking points. You keep talking about January 6th and Epstein. That's all y'all got. We got facts over feelings. Right. Then my dummy got sworn in on the under the Quran, and you guys come on some Trump didn't get sworn in by the Bible. The 6-7 is bullshit. You guys are insane. Trump didn't touch the Bible, but you got a fucking Muslim in New York get sworn in with the Quran. Y'all stupid as hell, man. If you don't like America, just go ahead and leave, man. Period. Just get the fuck out.
Coming onto this campus, that you want to have sanctuary here to be protected against being deported.
Yeah.
If we had deported this man, that woman would have been still alive. She would have still been alive. She was bludgeoned to death by an illegal alien. Who has more of a right?
Look at her face. She's smiling. She's flipping laughing about it.
Cause she's crazy.
She is laughing about this, man.
You probably gotta go see a psychiatrist.
To this campus.
You probably get like 5 booster shots. You gotta see like 3 different psychiatrists. Probably get a therapist. What type of shit going on?
Men who pay to go here are enrolled here, or illegal aliens like this guy.
If you're just like keep asking the same question, you know who also like?
You won't answer the question though. Does he deserve to have sanctuary here?
What? Okay, bye.
Right, you know what I'm saying? It's about some January 6th. You know how much Chicago got fucked up because of the Summer of Love? Because you bastards talking about some George Floyd, fentanyl Floyd. Soon the cops came to Floyd window and he let the window down. You can slow the camera down, which is in the video. You would see a white peel on George Floyd's tongue. The man was getting drugged up. And the man came to the store with a bogus ass 20. And the store clerk said, hey man, the 20 bogus. He went out to the car, to the truck to him 3 times. And then they called the cops. And the cops pull up. That's when you see Floyd mouth wide open, looking goofy, swallowing the goddamn pill. Yeah, the cop was bogus. He should have, you know what I'm saying, got off of him and showed the world like this man is not complying. All he had to do is comply. They put George Floyd in the truck. Mind you, he was in the truck already with 3 other people. Now he's in the back of a squad truck car claiming he can't breathe, it's too tight. But you was in a small ass truck, you know what I'm saying, in the beginning. Now you're in the police car and now you can't breathe, you freaking out. He was telling the cops, put me on the ground. He was not complying. But you guys don't watch the whole video. You don't watch the stuff that I've seen. You watch the stuff that I've seen, you guys like, damn, it's a fucking shit show. Fuck George Floyd. But you guys don't want to do no research. The man had a fucking rap sheet up the fucking wazoo, a rap sheet. The man robbed a pregnant woman at gunpoint with him and his other buddies. The man did not try to do right since he first got caught with his first case. The man got a rap sheet up the wall, man. The man did not try to do better. The day of his death, he woke up and, you know what I'm saying, and did a crime and lost his life. He woke up on stupid shit. But you guys want to, you know what I'm saying, don't look at that part. You want to make him a victim because the white man involved. Get the fuck up out of here, man. You know how many people in Chicago dead right now over the weekend? You know how many people in Chicago got shot over the weekend? Where's the outrage for that? New York, California, Detroit, Philly. You guys are selective outrage for real. And you want to come in this conservative chat saying the most stupidest shit. You seen Joe Biden sniffing kids and women and all that shit. Ashley Biden got a diary saying he be in the shower with her. But you guys want to relook at that. We told you Hunter Biden laptop was real. No, it's a Russia hoax. Get the fuck out of here, man.
You are a college student. I know that you have to go through some critical thinking class and you have to apply yourself when you're in classes. Apply it right now.
I'm good. Why are you harassing me now? Like, I'm saying, like, no more questions now? Thank you, please.
Wow.
That's probably the best thing for you.
Wow.
All of the tables here today at this
donor.
event support making UCF a sanctuary campus. So I am very generous, as you all know. I went up and I printed off free pamphlets for them to display on their tables at their booths, so everybody can know what exactly they're supporting. They support this guy who was here illegally and committed vehicular manslaughter while intoxicated. This guy bludgeoned a woman to death this month at a gas station in Florida. And this one killed his baby mama or a friend's baby mama. Let's go see if they'll display our free pamphlets at their booths. Okay, hi guys. We actually got free pamphlets for you guys to help support your cause. We're just gonna lay them right here. These are the illegal aliens who you guys...
Oh, here we go. It's this guy again. 0.1 testosterone.
Defend.
Any part in this not?
Oh, just go ahead and put them down. Yeah.
And what, are you going to take a pen?
I'll take a pen. I'll take one.
Yeah, we'll do a trade-off.
Okay.
These are completely free on my behalf. It's completely free for you guys to display exactly what you're supporting.
I'm just curious.
I'm sorry?
Like, how many views does it take for you to embarrass yourself every day?
I'll tell you if you put it down here. If you put that down for everyone to see.
Why are they so
Very
anti, like...
You want the secret to this guy? He was led into the country illegally, granted temporary protective status, and then he bludgeoned a woman to death in Florida just this month.
Yeah, murder is bad and crime is bad, and right now...
If he had been deported...
Well, he says that, but they don't want to acknowledge it. If it doesn't go along with their ideologies. I know I keep saying the same thing, but... Man, these people are just so... They just laugh it off like it's some sort of joke or it doesn't exist. They just dismiss it. They completely dismiss it.
It's government doing that.
If he had been deported,
there's actually a real life detection
then he wouldn't have killed that woman with a hammer.
Yep.
Okay, so leave this here. I want to see that energy. We just kind of wanted to put these out here on your booth to let everybody know walking by who would be allowed to be on a sanctuary campus. So these are free. You don't even have don't even thank me at all. Okay, stop it. I know you were gonna say thank you, but we just want those to stay there. Okay. A woman. This is actually...
It's kind of crazy how cold they are against someone who was killed on their own.
Like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. 2,257. Thank you. Thank you.
Mamdani may have finally done it. Mamdani might have actually sealed his fate with this one. Mamdani is trying to have some kind of insurrection. I mean, we knew he was a little cray-cray. But now he's doing something that would actually be totally at odds with the federal government and totally overstepping his bounds to the point where a New York City councilwoman is saying this is kind of what she used the term soft insurrection. Okay, it's soft now, but at what point does it get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger? This is a guy who's outwardly defying ICE, a guy who's now calling for the arrest of one of our allies. One of our allies. Let's go to him. Mamdani here talking to the New York Times, of course, the New York Times in their little podcast saying what he thinks.
Man, fuck January 6th. I'm gonna keep saying that shit. In Chicago, when it came to this damn riots, man, these mom and dad stores and grocery stores, whatever they had, not coming back no more. And then I was doing security. I was doing armed security in Chicago, where we had to like take our cars and vehicles and fucking 18-wheeler trucks to block off certain buildings, cannabis places, dispensaries, and all that shit. We had to block that shit out with trucks and shit. Damn, they had to have tanks because people out there looting and stealing this shit. Liquor stores, never the same. You know what I'm saying? Some of this alcohol they stole out the stores was like damn near $1,000 for some of these drinks, or $2,000. They stole that shit. That shit was freaking chaos, man. Billions of dollars got missing. Stolen. Shit got burnt down. Fuck January 6th, man. Chicago not the same. It's not the same. It's also January 6th. You don't even live in Washington. Half of you motherfuckers ain't even been to D.C. Even been to the White House. But you care about January 6th. I bet half of you motherfuckers have never been in the White House. Never been to the White House. That's crazy. January 6th. Oh my God. Damn. Have you ever been to the White House? You seen the Capitol? The Washington Monument? No? January 6th. Fuck out of here.
Should happen.
Never been there. Never been to D.C.
Last question on this topic. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is perhaps planning to visit New York for the UN General Assembly. You pledged during your campaign and after you won to order his arrest to comply with the International Criminal Court warrant. What will happen if he comes in September?
I believe that Prime Minister Netanyahu belongs in The Hague. He's a war criminal who has been charged by the International Criminal Court. And what you will find is that is an opinion that is held by many purely because of what his actions have wrought over these last many years. I've also said that I will follow the laws that we have here in New York City because I believe that there's an importance in following the law as a leader who presides over our city, and that's something that I plan to do.
Meaning? I'm sorry, I don't understand what that means.
Meaning that whatever the law allows me to do in New York City, that's what we will do, but we won't be writing our own laws to that end.
What does the law allow you to do?
That's an active conversation with our legal department in seeing what the prospects are we have here in our municipality. However, what we've seen at the national level is a desire sometimes to write your own laws, to go outside of the bounds of legality. That's not something we have an interest in.
I mean, normally when people come to a UN General Assembly, they're granted a sort of amnesty because it is the seat of the United Nations. Is that what you're thinking that you'll honor, or you're actively looking to see if you can actually arrest him?
Yeah, I got a chance to go to Frederick Douglass House tour. Got a chance to see the Martin Luther King's memorial, you know what I'm saying, statue and all that in D.C. Got a chance to see where the money's been printed out at and made and all that, the history of money. Yeah, check it out.
I think we are looking at all of our legal obligations, and one of them is with regards to the United Nations. But the other part of this is we're not talking about a personal assessment of Benjamin Netanyahu. We're talking about the International Criminal Court and the fact that they have a warrant out for this prime minister's arrest. And
how do people in January 6th, you said January 6th, the great trespass, how they trespass and people let them in? It's videos, countless videos, hours of video, officers and guards letting the people in. So how do they trespass?
I think it's important to talk about the weight that has as a charge, and also that as the mayor of New York City, I'll be following the laws of New York City.
Whoa. Okay, so I told you he was cray. You know he's cray. I mean, I don't know why the heck, they have way too many Brooklyn hipsters apparently voting in that last election cycle, but he may not survive this. I mean, that's the reality, because let's not forget the demographics that make up New York City. And I realize, a lot of people, maybe they want to hate their faith, and I'm not going to judge. I can't figure out why you guys elected him, okay? As somebody who lived in New York City for many, many years myself, for decades, multiple decades, okay? I do not understand it. I can only thank the Lord that I'm out of there, and I never want to go back. But Vicky Palladino, she's on the New York City Council, and she's kind of butting heads with this guy, and I love her. Like, I really love this woman. I want you to see her reaction, because she is calling it a soft insurrection. I think it's a little bit more than soft, because I actually think for him to come out and say this on the heels of all the other things that he's done, I'm going to freeze rents. Well, what do you think? Rents are going way up in New York City because he's freezing them, because no builder is going to build anything knowing that you're not going to make any profit out of it. He is trying to convert New York City, the financial capital of the world, into some kind of socialist utopia that would never even exist. So he's over before it's even started, right? Like, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's an idiot. He's young. He couldn't get into the school his own dad taught at, even though he marked off that he was African American in his application. So nobody said he was a rocket scientist, but Vicky's got it going on, and she just levels him here. All
right, Copeland, what you think about the videos I've been presenting today? What you think?
Levels him here. Watch.
An act of soft act of insurrection. He's really pushing his luck here tremendously. He doesn't know what he's talking about, but unfortunately, he thinks that he is above it all. He is the mayor of the city of New York. He has got no right to do what he's going to do. But listen,
Coconuts are real. What's up, man? Yeah, it is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then they want to see the videos where you got people going in there, they get handcuffed. Some of the officers had handcuffed some people, but at the same time they walk them off inside the building and then uncuff them and let them go free and then dap them. Like, how in the hell, how is this going on? Because it's bullshit. You have federal agents, involved in the crowd too as well. And then who the fuck is what they do named Mike Epps? He once, before the January 6th started, he said, hey, to a bunch of crowd of people, he said, tomorrow, January 6th, you guys, you're going to go to the Capitol. He kept telling them that. They're looking like, what the fuck is he talking about? And you would hear him like, oh, dude, he the feds. He a op, he the feds. You would hear him say that, but you guys want to watch those type of videos again. I can play those all day for you. So like, share, and subscribe. I can play them for you. Ain't no problem. But yeah, January 6th was bullshit. It's a setup. They let people in and then trying to say they trespass. You let them in.
Let's not take this lightly. You know, this is not a joke. The idea that a mayor of New York City or any city actually thinks he has power over and above what he does, and he wants to come across like this king, let's just say, or the superior leader of us all, is absolute nonsense. And, you know, I really do hope, because this could be just what we need to get this communist out.
Right. You know
He's pushing it, but the biggest thing for me is I don't want anybody to take this lightly. Do not take this lightly. His moves are calculated. He's not going to get away with it, but the fact remains is that a mayor...
Today's a good day, you guys. Almost at 12,000 views so far today total. 3 hours and 22 minutes and almost at 12,000 views.
34 years old.
150 watch hours.
No experience whatsoever at all. And the people he surrounds himself with, he's sitting there, he believes Netanyahu should be in The Hague. Give me a break.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it, just by thinking about it. Meet Base 44.
Should be in The Hague. Give me a break.
I told you she was great, right? Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. I'm going to get closer and closer to the microphone, closer and closer to the camera. Anyway, Vicky is like, you know, we were over him before. He wiped Little Italy off the map. You know, because you got to have Little Palestine on there. Little Palestine. But no Little Italy. You know, he's just not going over well, shall we say, with most of New York. But, you know, it makes sense that he would take out Little Italy and put in Little Palestine. I mean, I didn't see a Little Israel or anything in there. I mean, the Irish are upset, the Jews are upset, the Italians are upset. Everybody's upset because somehow he prefers a different group of people. And I think there's a lot of prejudice from him that's going into the selection of these different groups of people to the point where you're remaking maps. I mean, it's totally nuts. But don't forget, this is the guy who all along has failed to recognize Israel. In fact, this is something he said during his campaign or ahead of his campaign. I want to go to a podcast he was on, just very quickly show you, because you got to get inside his head. And when I put this together with what he's saying now, with what allegedly could have just happened, not allegedly, forgive me, did happen, okay? When I say it could have happened, he nearly had a meeting with Iran. I mean, his office went out and scheduled a meeting with Iran. This is unbelievable. But again, it gets back to what the president was saying with foreign intel corrupting the system. And Mamdani, you know, he's got a bias that's well on display. Don't kid yourself. This guy is what he is.
For so many people, Israel is not a place. It is not a country. It's an idea.
Damn.
And you see that in so many politicians' answers to the questions around Israel, is their answers were written 20, 30 years ago. They speak to a reality that does not exist. He wants to
think about it differently now. It's a place, not a place. It's an idea. He said, well, he's not a fan of Israel, okay? Like, that's very clear. He is a fan of communism. He is a fan. I mean, he'll call it socialism, but let me tell you, he's a commie, okay? Like, he is a commie. He wants grocery stores that are government run. He doesn't care who it puts out of business. He doesn't want a system that has actually created the world's greatest economy on earth, the biggest, greatest economy we've ever known. I mean, he wants to throw all that out the window to, like, turn us into Venezuela. And by the way, don't kid yourself.
That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? How these Democrat liberals are. They bring up the past. You know what I'm saying? And then we bring up the facts about the past. They don't want to hear it. They want to be victims about it. Insane.
Kind of stuff can happen. I mean, he can't be president so far as we know, but who's to say he's not going to change the Constitution? Who's to say Ilhan Omar is not going to change the Constitution, or Rashida Tlaib, or Elizabeth Warren and El Sayed, who she's championing right now? I mean, you got a group of radicals that want to throw away everything that we have that is so great. And then Mamdani, who thinks that he has the power to arrest.
Know how you personally can help protect the integrity of our elections? Americans are right to be concerned about the integrity of our electoral process. Across the country, dirty voter rolls contain millions of ineligible names, including illegal immigrants. This is an open invitation for voter fraud and undermines confidence in our elections. That's why Judicial Watch, the nation's leading government watchdog, is doing the heavy lifting to safeguard our elections. And we're getting results, including a landmark Supreme Court victory securing candidates' rights to challenge election rules. Plus, Judicial Watch litigation is responsible for the removal of over 6 million dirty names from voter rolls nationwide, with more to come. Now, we want to help patriots like you fight for honest elections in your community. Scan the QR code on your screen, and we'll send you this free guide. 8 things you can do now to help stop voter fraud. A citizen guide to ensuring free and fair elections. Inside are simple, practical steps you can take today to help defend election integrity. Take action, stay informed, and help ensure every lawful vote counts. Because Americans deserve to have confidence in their elections.
Mamdani, who thinks that he has the power to arrest the Prime Minister of Israel. You gotta be kidding me. I mean, at that point, why do you have a federal government, right? He thinks that he's more important than the federal government. Well, he got a little bit schooled by Mike Waltz, the UN ambassador. I mean, I saw in the comments, one of you guys is saying, well, he has immunity. Of course he does. And let's not forget, Israel's our ally, okay? Like, you're not going to come to the United States of America with Donald Trump in the Oval Office and have Mamdani arresting him. So this is nonsense. Okay, Mayor Mamdani, Ambassador Mike Waltz writes, here's why your threat to arrest PM, Prime Minister Netanyahu in New York City during the UN meeting is not going to happen. So there's a General Assembly in September. Not going to happen. 1, the U.S. is not party to the Rome Statute that underlies the ICC. 2, the UN headquarters agreement grants diplomatic protections to visiting heads of government. That's what we were just talking about. 3, head of state immunity applies. Also what we were talking about. And 4, federal authority trumps, pun intended, any local mayor's wishes.
Right, Glenn. They go against everything we stand for,
because
man.
otherwise we would have real, total bedlam. You can't go around arresting whoever you...
And it's fucked up, you know what I'm saying? I get that these immigrants come here, we got the First Amendment, but shit, if you're an American, man, the First Amendment shouldn't even go for you guys, man, because these people are idiots and they stupid, and they're not even assimilating. What the fuck, man? The First Amendment, so I can say that. Yeah, but that's true, but guess what? It's consequences, too. But if you're not an American, man, I don't know, man. Just throwing something out there.
You think you ought to be arresting when the federal government is the one that decides our foreign policy. I mean, this is why Vicky's right. Vicky's right. Vicky Palladino saying, this is a soft insurrection. I mean, I think it's more than soft, though. I think that...
Yeah, because it's bullshit. They hate the Constitution, but they keep on using the Constitution on certain things. Like Ian Omar. She hates the Constitution. She hates America. But when you attack her on something, she'll throw the Constitution up there. Hold on, the Constitution, I'm good. But you just say you hate America. You don't like the Constitution. You guys want to get rid of it. They want to get rid of Congress, the Senate, all that shit. No jails. Everybody just come on in.
This guy's heading in a direction. I combine this with what he did on the Iran front, trying to get his staff to have a meeting. And I listened again to this apology this morning because I'm like, what did he really say? Was he trying to wiggle his way out of it? And as I listen to this, I want to play
a city, $100 billion for a city.
It again for you. I know we talked about it last week, but listen to this because he actually doesn't seem that apologetic about it. He said it was his staffer's job. and is her job to have all these relations, these foreign relations. And so he didn't have a problem, really. I mean, he doesn't come down on her. And don't forget, she still has a gig. Right? He didn't fire her.
She's not fired.
I don't think she's been reprimanded. He's just like, oh, yeah, no, well, you know, it happened. It was an error, blah, blah, blah. We're moving on. Listen.
My question for you is, recent reporting showed that the International Affairs Commissioner, Ana Maria Archila, was trying to meet with Iran's ambassador. Thoughts on her coordinating that meeting without your awareness? Also, what do you see Archila's role as the commissioner?
Right, these people are crazy. These are the same people that blow themselves up. You know what I'm saying? Like, God damn it, really? It's really kind of hard to go against a war with somebody that can blow themselves up. You know, on the real, that shit crazy.
Of international affairs, is she supposed to be making these types of foreign policy, I guess, decisions behind your back? I mean, your reaction to that. And also, sorry, did you see the Graham Plattner video and your thoughts on that?
I haven't seen the video. I want to be clear on your first question. That meeting did not take place. It will not take place. And I did not know about it until there was a...
Some of these people religions are sick, man. But I'm hearing the Muslim religion believing if a girl 9 or 10 years old that bleeds, it's okay to go in here and marry her. Hey, yes, that's crazy as hell. That's nasty. That's pedophilia. That's bogus, man. But you guys want to fight for them?
Press inquiry regarding it. And when it comes to the work of our commissioner and our international affairs office, it's to ensure that as we are a city of the world, that we are also there to meet with leaders from across the world. The focus is always on our city and our relationship.
Thank you.
Wait, do you want to know how you personally can help protect the integrity of our elections? Americans are right to be concerned about the integrity
on our city and our relationship.
Thank you.
Wait,
You get it? He's like, we're a city of the world. We got to talk to everyone. I mean, he's not really that apologetic. We're at war, okay? We've lost 2 American soldiers. That happened over the weekend.
We lost 2 American soldiers. You can fact check her, whatever y'all want to do. That's way less than happened in Chicago. And you guys know that. Probably about 50 people got wounded. The rest fucking died.
War.
I'm just gonna let this video finish out, and I'll be back tomorrow. I really appreciate you guys. We had 2,257 subscribers today so far. Thank you guys. I'm gonna play this out, and that'll be it. The wife back at home. It's time to go ahead and eat and chill with the wife. Let's continue.
And Mamdani and his staff are out trying to have meetings with the country we're at war with. While our ally, he's trying to arrest you. Understand, this is, I mean, this guy is one big. I'm keeping it clean. Okay, I'm going to keep it clean because I could really go off on this one. And you know it takes a lot to get me there. Anyway, here are the foreign... Ooh, I'm really close to the camera now. I got to back away from the mic. Anyway, foreign interference assessment. Look, Russia, Iran, China, that's what they all came out and said. Okay, so China, biggie, biggie, biggie. I guarantee you. China and Iran, those are my biggies that I'm most concerned about. And then I learned, okay, the top Mamdani official is trying to meet with Iran just as... This loser, and he's such a loser. I mean, just, I hate to resort to that, but he just makes me want to vomit. And when I think of how he's trying to destroy such a phenomenal city, it really makes me want to vomit twice. Anyway, he's out there trying to meet with Iran, allowing his staffer to have set this up. It's, you know, Marco killed it. The State Department got wind of it and said, guys, it's over. Well, simultaneously thinking he can arrest Netanyahu. You understand how bonkers this is. And yet this is where we're heading, okay? So we got a lot of concerns here. You got a big rise of the left, a big rise of extremism. And it's being seen where I am right now here in Europe, of course, they've always been pretty lefty over here, but also back at home, we had Graham Plattner in Maine, winner that he was, and then we've got this guy, Saeed.
258. Thank you guys. Almost there. Thank you guys. You're growing. Appreciate it.
Computer, build me a faceless YouTube channel that.
Let's see. Yeah, these more videos, you guys. You can check them out. Check them out. Catch you guys later. Blessings. I'll be back tomorrow. Hit the all.